We're live for your head top. Welcome to the row 26. It's been a while. The boy's married.
Hey,
Some light. What's up, Johnny? Good to see you at the wedding. Everything was wonderful.
beautiful
Great
ceremony.
Okay.
Cold as hell, but beautiful.
Cold as hell. Yeah. Very New York.
Lovely reception. Everything's great. First podcast as a married man. Congratulations, man. Couldn't be happier for you.
Thanks, bro.
Phenomenal catch. Outkicked your coverage, so that's always the goal.
Yeah.
And
my dad always told me, make sure you marry up.
Yeah.
For all you scumbags out there.
Yep. Yeah, it's a good one. You want to be the winner.
Exactly. But Christy would probably tell you otherwise, which makes me feel all the better about it.
She'd lie.
Yeah, she'd lie. But nevertheless, we're here. We're back. We're in the final week of the fantasy football regular season. Things are thick in our league. I can only imagine what's going on in everyone's leagues across the board. My other league, in my dynasty league, Casey and I are fighting for playoff spots as well. I mean, I locked up a bye, though, in one of my dynasty leagues as well. I got 4 leagues total. And so it's good to have a bye, at least in one league, and fighting for my life in 3 others. So can't ask for more. I'm in the thick of it. John had a nice week or a nice couple days on Thursday. He's been having you've actually been doing very well over the last second half of the season. I feel like last week you took a bad loss, but other than that, team's been really good on the upward trend, and we'll see what shakes out. I think you had a decent Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, Casey's like, oh, everybody's going crazy. Like Pickens had 17.
Yeah, Thanksgiving week. Yeah, for all you people out there, mushing is a real thing. Mushing is a real thing.
Your team was playing well. It's like, yeah, Pickens had like 17. He was projected for like 15.
Yeah.
Javonte Williams had like 17. He was projected for like 15. Like,
shout out to Javonte, man. First time in his career going for 1,000 yards. I mean, what a steal by the Cowboys this offseason.
Yeah.
I mean, guys panned out. He's been so good.
Kyle Mononga had 21. Like, that's pretty good. And, Rashee Rice had 29, but Mahomes had 29 for Joey. It was like literally like ESPN projections were like 66-34. It was not like any sort of ass whooping at all. And he's like, oh, Hotz giving belt to ass. Like, don't talk about it.
It's also very rare. It's also very rare to see that a quarterback matches the receiver who goes for like a 30 bomb. Like usually when a receiver goes for like a 30 bomb, the quarterback goes for like 10 points less. Hurts and AJ Brown on that game where AJ Brown went for 35. I think Hurts had 18 in that game. Or 20.
Yeah, no, Mahomes had a spectacular game.
Mahomes matching Rashee Rice there is pretty wild.
Yeah, but obviously when he had Amon-Ra go for 0 and Zay Flowers go for 0.6 or whatever. Of course, like I'm in a decent spot, but like Joey's team is really fucking good. He's 10-3. Like he's got way more points than second most points. Like he's quietly like rivaling Casey's season from last year that we were all like, wow, Casey fucking ran shit last year. Like Joey's doing something very similar this year. He's 10-3. His team has 1,805 points scored plus whatever fraction or decimal. And then the next closest is 1732. He's got a clean like 80-point lead over the next closest team. Like he's giving belt to ass to the whole league. We're talking about belt to ass. He's locked up a bye already with the final season. Like this week he could relax. He doesn't have to do anything this week. He has a bye already. So Joey, congrats, great week. Great week for him. I was in a good spot. If I had won that week, I'm basically locked up a playoff spot. Now me and you are virtually winning. We're in, but
yeah, I'm definitely 100% winning in with the points. I don't think anybody. I think I'm like 90 points ahead of the next person in terms.
Yeah,
of
you have the second most points in the league.
Second most points in the league. So if I just win I just got to win. I just got to do my job. Even if I think I lose, I still have a decent shot to maybe sneak in the 6th seed because of the tiebreaker and based on some of the matchups. But I don't even want to leave it to that,
Yeah, if you lose, I don't know who you're playing, but if you lose,
I lose to Rob. He's out of the playoffs already. So
yeah, if you lose, then me, Javi, and Nick would all have to win, and that'd basically be the only way you're out.
Correct. That's right.
We all have 8 wins.
You got it. Rob's already statistically eliminated, though. Him, D'Lo, and Jermaine are all official, of course.
But I'd be lying. Honestly, when I saw Casey's comment, I was like, "Oh, I know I'm going to lose." But I was definitely like, "Holy shit! I'm playing the number 1 team, the number 2 team, number 3 team 3 weeks in a row, and I fucking already beat you and Jake, and then I almost beat Joey too. If I play Kyle Pitts, I lose by like a point instead of At least I still would have lost even if I played him because that was going to haunt me because I changed that very late.
We got a crazy scenario for you, to be honest.
Winning
Eddie Lozada and Ficini's teams, points for, both of them are only 17 points behind Casey. So,
well, Casey already has the 8 wins, so it's more like it's
right. But I'm saying like if Casey were to lose and he goes 8-6, and then I guess. No, you're right. Because of the 8 wins, you're right. The points for because all the people that are in contest
Casey has a 99% chance.
Yeah, Casey's in the playoffs.
It would have to be like I outscore him by.
You would have to score 60 points, and then like Nick or you would have to score like 200.
Well, not even. I mean, not that much because he's only got. Like I said, I have to outscore him by 40.
You aside then, because we're trying to eliminate him because you and I have points on.
No, Casey. Yeah,
if we're talking about like Javier or Nick, they're both at 1564, 1509. They both would need to score astronomical numbers with Casey not performing for Casey.
Nick would have to score like 250 points. Yeah, it'd have to be something crazy like that for sure. And Nick's team's looking pretty good. Won this last 2. Our league is crazy close. Obviously, there's 3 teams that are virtually in. Joey has the bye. Jake, if he wins, has the bye. And he has a slight point total advantage over Casey. So Casey would have to win. Jake would have to lose. And he'd have to outscore him by about 25 points. You're in a good
final lineup, by the way. I was going to ask you. Is this your final lineup?
I'm monitoring Hampton. It is risky. I mean, he's like pretty much good to go. He practiced full Friday.
Yeah. He's been practicing the last 2 weeks from what I read.
Yeah. Well, but he logged a full practice on Friday, like no limited.
Yeah.
And,
I'm just looking at your tight end. That's one thing I was just looking at because of the matchup.
Seattle's 29th against tight ends in terms of fantasy points per game. And
I hate those stats.
Yeah, you hate those stats, but that's the stats. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Seattle, where's the stat? Like, Seattle's like the number 1 defense in football.
Yeah, and then last week I put in Parkinson over Kyle Pitts, and Kyle Pitts did great because Drake London's out. So who else are they throwing the ball
London out again?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, probably just target share alone. Like, he's going to have to get the ball, especially security blanket because
Seattle. I don't want your opinion on my lineup for the record. I didn't ask. Nobody asked. I didn't even look at your lineup.
I'm mushing your lineup right now. All right, I'll
just leave me alone. I don't want your opinion.
I need you to lose.
The only thing that I am still monitoring is Hampton. It just sucks. It's Monday Night Football.
Yeah, I have him in my family league. I am going to start him. I like the Monday Night Football at home. I like that they're home at least. That's the one thing that saves me there.
I mean, I like the matchup. It's just if he doesn't end up playing, I'm just in a bind where I'm picking
Jordan and what's his name is out, by the way. Jalen Carter is out.
Yeah. No, I want if he's healthy, I'm happy to play him, but I need like an announcement like he is playing, or else putting him in for someone like Michael Pittman or Brian Thomas Jr. or Monungai, that's dicey. Like obviously Thomas Jr. has been a huge letdown. Pittman shit the bed last week, which killed me.
He'll be better this week against the Jags, I think.
I don't know. He's on the
Jags. Are a tough team. I mean, we can get into the matchups if you want,
He's on the Jags. He's not playing against the Jags. Oh, you're saying Pittman?
No, Pittman. I said against the Jags.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're playing each other.
Great matchup.
It's a that's a great game. We can start there if you want. If you want to
get
a
good game to start. I think that's a 1 p.m. also, so that's a perfect. Yeah, it is. It's perfect.
But
so they're both 8-4. Yeah.
But basically, me, you, and Javi are winning. We're in unless Nick does something crazy. Let me check this, the matchups real quick to make sure no one's playing each other. I know
one of the great matchups of the week is Jake versus Joey for the number 1 seed, which is a cool matchup. Shouts to Jake for
Joey. I think Joey has so many more points. It doesn't really matter. Like, I think that he's pretty much
really?
It doesn't really matter.
You're right, because Jake has more points than me. You're right.
It doesn't really matter. Yeah, Joey has the most points in the league, like I said, by like 80 points. Like he's dominating this season.
Yeah, 70 points. Yeah, that's
But it
true.
is kind of good that they're playing each other because it's like they're both already in.
You're right. He's got the Z. You're right. My fault.
Yeah, he already has a bye. I don't know if he has first place because technically Jake could outscore him by like whatever 100. But
you're right though.
Yeah, and then I'm playing Eddie, who's virtually eliminated based on points.
Yeah.
And then Ficini's got a shot to get in based on points if he could beat D'Lo and two of the 7 and 6 teams lose. Same with Eddie. We all were like, oh, Eddie's eliminated. Let me check to make sure Jermaine's got a lineup in. Looks like he does. Okay. All right. So he's got a healthy lineup in. That's good to see. Giving himself a shot.
The Shepherd start is crazy.
Well, whatever. At least he's got a lineup in. Maybe he'll switch it. Maybe he won't. But I'm not gonna.
Yeah. Who gives a shit?
He's got a lineup going. And then Casey versus Javi, I guess, is a big one. Javi, like he could take Javi out pretty much.
Dude, he has 1,299 points. I probably had that in week 9.
Jermaine is.
That's fucking crazy low.
I made the song early in the year. No one.
I mean, granted, he does have the most points against, but it's not like he's doing himself any favors, and it's brutal out here. Like
he's the most points against, but he's fucking.
But he doesn't score.
He's got the least points scored by like 200 points. Like
it's crazy. It's so low.
But like I said, no one is worse than Maine at fantasy. No.
Damn, Alicia would be so proud.
Yeah, man, good. All right, I mean, basically, I'm playing Eddie Saint. I
got Rob. I got to beat Rob, and then if I lose, we'll see what happens with how it shakes out. I think 7 and 7 in the 6th seed is going to be what happens. We all could win. None of the 7 and 6 teams are playing each other. Yeah. So 8 and 6 could not even get in potentially. Like there might be one 8 and 6 team left out, which would likely be Nick because he's. The points.
200 points behind you, 120 points behind me, and 50 points behind Javi. But then again, Javi has to be Casey.
What about Eddie though? If Eddie's 7 and 7.
No, what I'm saying is if
you're saying if everyone wins at 7 and 6,
all the 7 and 6 teams win.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, obviously Eddie at 7 and 7 has a good amount of points scored. So him and Ficini virtually have the same amount of points.
Let's go, Casey.
1654.84 and 1654.9. So they have 0.06 difference between Ficini and Eddie. And then, so Jamie is virtually out. Eddie's virtually out. Eddie Saint, I should say.
Yeah.
And obviously Rob is eliminated. Rob is a good team for an eliminated team, but not. Then again, you look at his points, he has 100 less points than, Eduardo and then Ficini.
He definitely scores, but he runs into.
But he has we say he scores, but he really, he's got more points than Hoopty, but less points than Eddie Luzada and Ficini. So he didn't crush it.
Taylor and Saquon have not been.
Well, Taylor was a menace for a good chunk of the league. It's more like Lamar has been a bit of a letdown, and Saquon, I'll say.
Taylor's 7, the 53. That's crazy. 8 and 15.
Yeah, but on the year he was dominating at the beginning of the year.
Oh yeah. Saquon has had a lot of bad games. 9.
He's the number 3 running back, and he's a 5th round keeper.
Saquon's number 14 position rank right now.
Yeah, and Jonathan Taylor's 3. He's only probably behind Gibbs and maybe Bijan. I don't even know.
Saquon hasn't scored a touchdown since week 8 against the Giants. That's crazy.
Yeah. All right, but we can get into
let's get into the matchups. Yeah, Colts at Jags, 8-4, 8-4. This is probably I think they play each other again actually in a couple of weeks. I think this is not the decider of the division, but this will definitely set the tone for who's maybe making a playoff push and who's going to maybe struggle to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, no, I mean the Colts, as hot as they started, we're the number one
back down to earth.
Points, yeah. I think Daniel Jones has the hurt leg. It's kind of showing he's not as mobile as he was at the beginning of the year. He's come back down to earth quite a bit, throwing a lot of interceptions, turning the ball over. Without his legs, he's super limited. We know Daniel Jones has showed a lot of growth at the beginning of this year. But if he can't run the ball, like that's problematic for the Colts. I don't think they can make a move to Richardson or anything like that, but
no,
it is hampering him. And there is a path where they start off as hot as they did and then miss the playoffs, especially with how the Jaguars and Texans have been playing in that division. I like the Jags this week quite a bit, but it's tough because it's weird. Like, why are they plus 1.5 on the road? I mean, at home, excuse me, against the Colts when Daniel Jones is hurt. It's like kind of the trappy line, but I think I still would take the Colts plus 1.5 or the Jaguars plus 1.5 or the Jaguars money line at plus 110.
I'm probably the other way on this one. I like the Colts in this one for a bounce back, even though Daniel Jones is hampered by the fractured fibula, whatever, and that kind of limits his ability of what makes him good, which is the ability to scramble. I think that, Kwity Paye and Kenny Moore, they're healthy. Josh Downs is healthy. Like, I think the team in general, besides Sauce Gardner, is healthy. And on the Jaguar side, they're not as healthy. I think Devin Lloyd is going to play, though, which is huge for them. I mean, he's full participant.
They just kicked the fucking Chargers in the teeth last game.
The Chargers are shit. And also the Chargers
are 8-4, just like the Colts are.
Yeah, they're a worse 8-4 to me. I don't love the Chargers at all.
I agree with that. I don't know. The Chargers are a solid, decent little team. They struggle against.
Herbert got hurt in that game too. He broke his hand.
Yeah, but that's true. That's true. But that game was over before Herbert came out of it. To be fair, like Trey Lance
He came back in and actually started to throw the ball a little bit better. When he got hurt, he's kind of one of those players. He's a sicko. He's gonna play this again. He's psycho, dude.
Yeah. No, he's a tough player, but I mean, we were talking about it like hurt, broken left hand Herbert versus broken leg Daniel Jones. I'll take broken left hand Herbert every day of the week.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good call. I would agree with that premise. I think roster for roster, I probably lean the Colts as a whole over the Chargers. It's close. I think with Hampton coming back, that's huge. Vidal looked good last week. I think now being able to use the both of them in tandem is going to be, that's something that really helps your team in a whole different way. And I don't know. I don't know who I like more between the Colts and the Chargers, but on this game, I like the Colts going to Jacksonville to win. And I think Jacksonville's going to return the favor when they come to the Loud House in a few weeks, in like week 16, I think it is.
Yeah, I don't know. The Jaguars have a sneaky home field. I think they have one of the, like I said, more underrated home field advantages. I know when they played the Chiefs this year, they were rocking. I know last week, obviously, dominating the Chargers. Their defense is sneaky good, and their offense is obviously – has their issues, but they're running the ball well. I think Tootin and Etienne is a good 1-2 punch. And if Trevor Lawrence can make a couple throws, if Brian Thomas Jr. get a little bit on track, and honestly, the addition of Jacoby Myers was massive.
Yeah, he's been huge. He's taken away from your boy even more so now. And
well, Brian, it was just last week they played together. It was the first time they played together because Brian Thomas Jr. was hurt.
He's been hurt. Yeah.
So last week was the first time
he played. They got Brenton Strange back, who's a nice player. I'm hoping he does some things for me in 14 this week on a spot start for Kittle. He caught a touchdown last week. They do have a lot of weapons on the Jags offense. That is undeniable. They will be a cool team next year with Travis being back. That will be interesting. And Parker Washington's questionable.
How long will he be back for? And even when he was healthy this year, what did he do?
He's going to be one of those stories, right? Yeah.
I mean, he's trying to do too much. You got to pick a side.
I agree.
I think we've been on this take for a while now. It's like,
you just can't do it.
It's not worth it to try to get the benefit of playing in both ways. Like when.
It's not a longevity play, It's like something I would do, like we talked about, like the playoffs. If it was like, okay, he had some reps during the season, you see that he can play some corner.
I just think you're just spreading yourself too thin. Just focus on one thing and get really good.
He's a hell of a receiver, so I would focus on that for the record.
Either way, just pick a side. I think he's a really good defensive back too. But like I said, it's like even like weightlifting, it's like it's so position specific. It's like.
True.
you should be training for what you want to do. And it's like
there's two positions that are most alike probably in terms of weight training. You would think it's corner and receiver, but still, it's not the same. Defense, tackling, it is a different thing.
Think receiver, like if he was only focused on receiver, he should get bigger. Like, I guess, like you said,
more physical player, but I don't know.
Not that crazy different, but like, you want to stay lean as a corner. You got to be fast. You got to change direction. Like that's way more important. But on offense, if you're going to be a catcher of the football and then runner of the football after you catch it, like you want to be strong and be able to break tackles and put on some size. Like you don't want to be as skinny as he is at receiver. Like, but regardless, I mean, I like the Jags. You like the Colts. Not much more to say on this one.
Yeah, we can move on. Let's go to the Bengals at the Bills. Here's the next game I saw at 1 o'clock here. It's a cool game. Joe Burrow tore up Baltimore Ravens. T. Higgins is back, full participant in practice. It's big. Chase Brown also full participant. And then I saw the main announcements that I saw were Joey Bosa is out for and Dalton Kincaid is questionable. We'll see what happens with him. I don't know. This game is one of those games where it'll come down to a field goal is one guess that I have. And then and McPherson looked awesome last week. I think he had 25 points on Casey's bench, if I'm not mistaken. But the Bills, this is one of those games where the Bills win it. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just one of those Josh Allen games. It's a December football game. It's going to be cold as fuck. And, Joe Burrow is the man, and it would not shock me if Joe Burrow figured out a way to win, but I think the Bills win by 3 points. That's what I think.
Yeah, I guess I like that take because I'm all over the Bengals +6.
Then we're aligned because I think this game will be close. I do think that Joe Burrow's not going to let this just get away from him, and even though the defense is not able to stop Josh Allen, I think the Bills defense is going to have problems trying to stop. Without Bosa and Bernard, they're going to have problems trying to stop Joe Burrow.
But it was also amazing to see the Bengals defense when Joe Burrow was there. They elevated their game last week. They held the Ravens in the teens. They played well. And then also in maybe this is my dumb sports fan brain, but I remember the Bengals going to Buffalo in the playoffs and absolutely fucking dismantling them.
Yeah.
In the snow. That game was over in the third quarter. It was 28-7. I think they made it a little closer at the end.
Joe Mixon was in that game, right?
I believe so. It wasn't this last playoffs. There was a playoffs before that. It was when the Cowboys played the 49ers. Yeah. It was the same year as the Cowboys played the 49ers and called that stupid play where Zeke snapped the ball. Maybe 2022 or 2022.
Yeah, Joe Mixon had a big game that game. I remember. 12.
Yeah. And that's what I was going to bring up was we're talking about Burrow a lot. Chase Brown.
Chase Brown's a beast.
Ryan versus basically inept Bills run defense. I don't see this will probably be high scoring. I get it. The Bengals defense isn't good. I'm not trying to say they're magically good that Joe Burrow's back, but I can see the Bengals controlling the clock. And I mean, I don't hate Bengals money line in this game at all. At +230, you're getting 3.3 to 1 on your bet. I don't hate that at all, but I think I love the Bengals +6. I think that's a bad line, honestly.
I like the take on the covering for sure. I think the Bills run game is actually going to be the run game that is going to control this game. I think they're James Cook, Ray Davis, they're going to get a lot of carries in this game. I think Josh Allen's still been having problems finding an elite receiver to go to. Cook's had a couple catches last week, so he's just another filler player for them. That can, handle take some of the load off of Khalil Shakir and when Kincaid is out. But I don't know, if Kincaid plays, that's massive to me. That's the guy that controls, third downs and shit like that for Josh Allen and, all those off schedule plays that Josh Allen has to get to or when he starts scrambling. But I'll be clear, if Josh Allen's scrambling in this game, there's no way the Bengals win this game. There's just no way. That ability by Josh Allen to scramble and rip your heart out as a defense, even when you feel like you've covered for so long. We've talked about that before where guys cover for 4, 5, 6 seconds and then Josh Allen takes off for 20 yards, the Jalen Hurts effect thing. I think that's a Josh Allen trait as well, where he rips your back out when you feel like you have him binded up on a third down and he can just make a play. So that's why I still lean Bills for I wouldn't do a money line take thing. I think that's a little forward, a little too far, but I do like the Bengals covering. I agree with that premise.
Yeah, I just don't know if I see the Bills winning this like 70% of the time or 67% of the time, where the math makes sense for it to be the line that it is.
Yeah.
Like the Bills money line minus 285, excuse me. Like that is, I think that's just
that feels a little much. Yeah.
That's
a lot of home field love right there.
Yeah, I mean, minus 285, I just think is crazy. Like I said, I had that vision burned in my head of like the Bengals going on the road and absolutely curb stomping the Bills in the playoffs. Like,
I know, but that's a different team, and like no Joe Mixon for 100 yards and a touchdown. It's not the same player with Chase Brown. Even though Chase Brown's a nice player.
Chase Brown might be a better player at this point. Like I think Chase Brown is every bit as good as Joe Mixon was 2 years ago. Chase Brown's a very good player. Catch the ball out of the backfield. Like, obviously it's different teams, but it's the same.
I don't know if I agree with that, but yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at their numbers, like after this year and Joe Mixon at the end of that year, I don't think it's going to be this stark contrast. Like, it wasn't Joe Mixon like running for 1,800 yards,
Yeah. I'm just looking at Chase Brown right now in terms of his stats. Let's taking a look here. It's also just different players to me. Like Chase Brown's more of the scat back type, like can catch the ball probably a little bit more effectively than Mixon. I would agree with that. But he's had 100 yards twice this season. Like if I was to guess Mixon's 2023 season, they went to the Super Bowl, probably had more games than 2 games.
That wasn't the year they went to the Super Bowl.
What was the year they went to the Super Bowl against the Rams? Was it 22?
I want to say 21. 23 was the Chiefs and the Eagles.
Yeah. Right. The
year before that was the Chiefs and the 49ers.
Yeah, Bengals
Rams.
Bengals beat them in the divisional round that year against the Bills in 23.
Yeah, they killed them.
Yeah, that was divisional. It wasn't the NFC Championship. I got you. Yeah.
No, and the Cowboys beat the Bucs and then lost to the 49ers.
Right. Okay. Yeah, even still, like if we looked at, the stats.
Right now, Chase Brown has 700 rushing yards with 5 games left. In 2023, Joe Mixon had 1,034 yards. In 2022, had 814 yards. How
many rushing touchdowns did he have in 23?
9.
Yeah, like Chase Brown has 2. It's just
he's gonna have like touchdowns is kind of like a goal line stat. He's obviously not the goal line.
I'm just saying, like, that's what I mean, though, in terms of the effectiveness of a Mixon. Like, even
if they bring in P. Ryan, but I'm saying 257 carries for 1,034 yards. Like, it's not like Joe Mixon was this unbelievable running back. He had 1,034 yards.
Yeah, I think they're different players. Like, there's 4 games this year where Chase Brown had over 6 catches. I don't think Mixon probably had one that year that over 6 catches. No fucking way. So
it's not like you're saying. It's like this big drop off. Like,
because to me, Chase Brown he has 1 game or 2 games over 15 attempts in a game. Like, he's just, I don't know. He's not the same player to me. That's all I'm saying. I think that Chase Brown's more.
He's got 704 rushing yards and 160 carries with 5 games left. And Joe Mixon that year had a 250-something carries for 1,000.
We'll see where he ends up. I think that's fair then. We'll see where he ends up because he does have some 40-yard rushing games. He has multiple of them. So I think that, we'll see where it ends up.
It's a fucking 50 cents versus 47 cents at best for Joe Mixon. It's no like big, he's running the ball way better than –
I think the combination, my personal opinion is I think the combination of being able to finish at the goal line as a running back is a big trait along with your stats. Like if he finishes with 1,000 yards, Chase Brown with 3 rushing touchdowns, and the other guy's 1,000 rushing yards with 9.
Also 5 games. Not the rushing touchdowns. I think it's like wins as a pitcher in baseball. It's circumstantial. It's not like you can run the ball.
Not every guy though runs it in at the goal line. Well,
yeah, and it also has to do with the wide receivers they have in the red zone who are big, red zone threats. It's circumstantial. Like I said, it's not like touchdowns mean less to me than yards. Not in fantasy, but in real life.
It could be empty yards. Like, I don't know. I'm back and forth with that conversation. I think that there could be an argument made, is what I'm saying, that for the value of somebody that when you give them the ball on the goal line every time they get in versus a guy that's like smaller and
Joe Mixon goes for 1,034 yards and 9 touchdowns. Let's say Chase Brown, I'm almost certain he's going to pass him in yards with 5 games left. Like, there's a very
good average, like what, 65 yards a game to pass him?
Yeah, he's averaged 60 yards a game to pass him.
likelihood is that he's going to pass. Yeah.
And also, if he's got a few less touchdowns, then, like I said, you're super splitting hairs to be like, Joe Mixon was way better that year than when they beat the Bills.
Close. It's
like,
close.
You know,
it is close. But I think I'm talking about, like, you're talking about going to the Bills and winning in the playoff game. I feel like going in a playoff game scenario where everyone's playing their hardest, a small back like Chase Brown, who to me is more scat backy, is a different type of effect on a playoff game or a one-game sequence. If we're talking about the idea of
probably are like
why you're picking the
pounds.
Bengals, which is like they kicked the shit out of them in 2023 in that playoff game. Like, to me, the circumstance is like totally.
Yeah, Joe Mixon's 1 yard touchdown run, you know, like that game is like basically what you're basing it on. Like he had 1 yard touchdown run.
That means he had 19 carries for 19 attempts for 107 yards.
No, 19 for 104. But either way, I'm just saying, like, it's not like that's the difference you're saying. It's like touchdown, 1 yard touchdown scoring. Like they can't get that somewhere else. You know? Like,
I hear that point too. That makes sense.
Like,
I get what you're saying.
I don't.
Especially if it was a 1 yard touchdown, like, you know, that could have been Joe Burrow.
Yeah, it could have been Joe Burrow, could be P. Ryan, could be somebody else. And I also will say, like, you're saying, like, scat, small, this and that. Like,
he's 211 pounds. He is a beast. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a 9 or 10 pound difference. Like Joe Mixon is probably like
for sure.
20, and he's like 210.
Chase Brown's a tough motherfucker for sure.
He's not Darren Sproles, you know.
Right. He's one level above that for sure. Yeah.
No, he's way above. Darren Sproles is like 170 pounds. You know.
Darren Sproles was a bull too. He was a nice player.
Yeah, I mean, Darren Sproles was probably a better player than Chase Brown, or close, whatever.
Close,
but
that's close.
The point being is like he's not
a close one.
But Darren Sproles was 5'6".
Different player. That's actual different player.
That's a scat back. Like Chase Brown is not
Turner, special teams guy. Sproles was like,
Chase Brown is average running back size, 5'10", 210. You know, he's not small.
I'm not undersizing Chase Brown. It just, you know, the catches is really where I think he really can affect the game even that much more actually than a Mixon, which is why I think when it's all said and done, it's definitely trending and possible that Chase Brown becomes a better all-time player than Joe Mixon.
Or we can even put it like last year, Chase Brown had 990 yards, 7 touchdowns, only starting 10 games. He barely played the first 3 or 4 games.
For sure, he was really effective last year.
Full season, it's like, yeah, we'll see though. He's a beast, but I mean, I like the Bengals to cover, and probably like I said, if you're gonna bet the Bills money line, I think you're kind of lighting money on fire. Like maybe, you know, throw it in a parlay.
I'm more.
I wouldn't throw it in parlay. Is what I'm saying. I guess.
Yeah, just Joe Burrow also feels like, you know, you could just. There's guys in the league, like this is the last point I'll make on this game. There's guys in the league that are just Hall of Fame guys that you know they're Hall of Fame guys, and I don't know how else to. The eye test just tells you everything you need to know the way they control the game as a quarterback, especially. And Joe Burrow has that it about him. And just when you watched him against the Ravens, it's just every throw and everything he does is just ridiculous. He just controls the game so well.
And as crazy as their season has been, obviously Burrow getting hurt, their defense sucking, like. They're 2 games back in their division. Like, I get it. Like, they're 4-8.
If they come around and win out,
if they get to 9-8, they have a shot, and they could do that. The Bengals have.
And no one's gonna want to play them in the playoffs, John.
Yeah, and like I said, like they're like the Ravens and the Steelers play this week, so one of them has to lose.
Yep.
But then again, one of them has to win, so that's tough on the Bengals. But
if it was the Bengals, I probably want the Steelers to win that game.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about that game next. That's a game that I think has a lot of implications. Obviously, they're both 6-6. I said it when the Steelers lost to the Bengals the first time. Like the Ravens are going to fuck around and win this division, even though they're 1-5 or whatever at the time, 2-5 at the time.
But they're trying their best to blow it too. I'll be clear.
Yeah, I mean, the Bengals came in and kicked their ass last week, but the Ravens at home against the Steelers. Another kind of line that I'm like, man, you got to take the dog here, +6 for the Steelers. I think whoever is the favorite in this game, like the underdog always covers between these two teams, and especially Mike Tomlin. This typical Mike Tomlin spot. The seat's a little hot. Everyone, talking about how
I like
might
that
be out of town. Like, this is when he always puts up a good game. If not, wins it outright. So. I mean, again, I'm kind of in the same exact spot. Like, I like the +6 a lot. and I like the money line. I'd much rather bet the Steelers money line than put the Ravens minus 290 in a parlay.
I'll be clear, though. One of the issues I have with the Steelers, this Steelers team specifically, is it feels like their run defense and their like stacking the quarterback and their point of attack this year has been just like very like just like any game I've watched of them and all the highlights that I've seen. I watch like usually the 9-minute clip of each of the games each week in case I missed anything, and like just watching them, it feels like they were getting gashed so much for the run game, and their run defense has not been good. And I don't like that their main defensive tackle, who's like their main run stopper, Derek Harmon's out in this game, as well as Kyle Duggar, who's like that box safety, hard-hitting player. So I don't know. I'm like all over the Ravens, honestly, in this game. The more I stare at it, I'm just like, I've given up on the Steelers. I'll be clear. And also another guy that's playing with an injured hand, not just Justin Herbert, but Mr. 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers apparently has the broken left hand too thing going on or whatever. So I'm not – I can hear what you're saying about the points because these games are always close. So I'm not shitting on that take. I think the Steelers could cover. I think that's a valued bet. I think that's a good bet.
Well, like I said, it's more like would I rather put the Ravens at minus 290 in a parlay, or would I rather bet the Steelers money line at plus 235?
Right.
And
I was just about to say that. If you think the Steelers are going to cover, I'm almost inclined to bet them then. Otherwise it's the Ravens blowing them out to me.
I guess I don't see. Whenever the Ravens ever blown out the Steelers, and vice versa. Like when one team's good or the other team's bad, they're always
like they both step in the mud every time they play each other, and then it's every time. Yeah, I agree with that.
It's never really a blowout between these
two. The Steelers team, I just don't like them, bro. On this defense, it's not like previous teams. I don't know why.
Their pass rush
maybe Minka missing, and you saw he went for a pick 6 last week. This guy is effective. Like, he's a different player than Jalen Ramsey.
You're talking about their run defense, but like obviously Derrick Henry has slowed down, and part of that is Lamar Jackson being out. And then Lamar Jackson, since he came back, hasn't been running the ball. That hamstring is not cleared for running. Maybe they're trying to save it for when and maybe they kind of can't save it this week because they need a win. Like losing here would be massive in this division, but that being said, like I'm not going to bet on Lamar all of a sudden this year coming out and being a heavy runner of the football, and I'm not going to count on Derrick Henry without the threat of Lamar Jackson having a breakout game either. I think the games that they both did well this year was before Lamar Jackson went out. That was the only time that they ran the ball well all season. So it's tough to be like, oh, they're going to run it all over the Steelers. You just talked about how bad the Bengals defense has looked and how James Cook and the Bills are going to control the ball against them. But the Ravens couldn't run the ball against the Bengals last week. Derrick Henry had 60 yards and a touchdown, sure, whatever. But, like, they couldn't run the ball in the Bengals. Are they going to run the ball in the Steelers? I don't know.
Yeah, the last 2 weeks, Derrick Henry has had 60 yards. And one of those, both those games he had a long rush, so really the average per carry was not.
And I would say Lamar Jackson had 14 rushing yards. And
I do think, though, Henry has been better as of late, the last several weeks. In general, he had the really good game against that Cleveland defense. He looked really good that game, over 100 yards and a touchdown under 20 carries in that game. So I think Henry has that capability of he's like a momentum player, He's like one of these guys that once you get him really going, he's full sweat. He's revved up. That's a guy that will spare you in the second half.
The only counter to the Cleveland game was that I think they still didn't know that Lamar wasn't running it yet. Now,
it was his first game back, and they were almost keeping him in a box, upfield in a box. So Henry had all those lanes. Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
I think the coaches now are realizing Lamar's not trying to run the ball, so they can be more aggressive towards Henry.
It's a good take.
So I don't know. Like I said, I'm not betting.
I would say this game for sure. It's obviously the most favorable game for sure. Yeah.
Echoing the sentiment of I'd rather bet the Steelers money line straight up and bet the Bengals money line straight up than put the Bills and the Ravens in a parlay, so to speak, to basically be at even money. And I could have two bets that are both plus, about 3 to 1, 3.3 to 1, 3.35 to 1. I think that's. You win one of those bets, and then you win you're plus money on the day. Even if you bet both of them, you lose one, you win one, you're plus money. If you bet the Ravens and the Bills in the money line and in the parlay and one of them lose, then you're down one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm with you. I generally am with you. I think these games are always muddy.
But the best, but again, the best move would probably just be to bet the Bengals +6 and bet the Steelers +6.
And I think Lamar will run. I think that he's had full practice. I think he's been full practicing all week. Bateman's full practicing all week again.
Dude, he's been back for fucking 4 weeks. I think he's been full practicing for a month. He's just not running the ball in the games.
I think previous weeks during the week he hasn't practiced he's been limited, and then he'll play type of thing. But this week he's been practicing in full, which is a better sign, I guess. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I think you might be right that he's just reluctant to, though, as well. And a whole
I
different.
don't read too much into that, but I guess if that's something, maybe it'll shine true, and that he practices full this week. I haven't been paying attention to his.
It's either the Steelers can win on a game-winning Boswell, or the Ravens are gonna beat the shit out of them 20-3.
And if those are the only two outcomes in your head, I am way more likely to see a Boswell game-winning field goal than a Ravens blowout. Like I said, if you can point to a time in your memory where the Ravens blew out the Steelers, go ahead. I can't,
Ravens versus, let's see if there's any recent ones. Ravens versus Steelers all-time matchup. Let's see if it comes up. Last 10 game logs. Here we go. All right. So the last time they played was 12/21, 2024. Ravens won 34-17. The last time they played, they won by 17 points.
Yeah, but that's also.
Listen to these scores. Here you go. Here's your stats. This is perfect. Listen to these scores for every single game for the next 8 games, John. These are the scores. The first 4 are the Steelers winning. 18-16, 17-10, 17-10, 16-13, and then the Ravens won 16-14. Then the Steelers won 16-13. Steelers won again 20-19. Steelers won again 19-14. Steelers won again 28-24. That's the next 9 matchups.
I mean they're all close. Besides, like you just said, the 130.
They're all covering on 6 points.
And last year they won by 17. That's the one.
That's the one.
I guess the playoff game too. They beat them pretty good, 28-14.
Yeah, that's right. But that playoff game, who was the starting quarterback for the Steelers that game?
Either Russell Wilson or Fields.
I think it wasn't Russell Wilson. Maybe it was.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, it was either Russell Wilson or Fields. So either way,
it
was Russell Wilson. But
that team sucked. That team sucked.
Yeah, that was a real bad playoff team. Either way, like I said,
we'll see. History tells you that it's mud right there. That history told you it's all mud.
Yeah, basically, if you're saying they win by a field goal versus a blowout for the Ravens.
Basically, the last 9 times they've played, it's basically been a field goal or
harder to bet on the field goal than it is to bet on the Ravens to blow them out.
Yeah. Pick up Boswell. I dropped Boswell actually for Lutz because I'm an idiot, but I'm sure he'll have 5 field goals this week.
Yeah, I dropped him at some point and fucked myself this year too, so it happens. But we'll keep it moving. I mean, Saints and Bucks, I think we could skip past. Saints stink. They might play them close. I don't hate them to cover +8.5 just because it's a rivalry game, and the Bucks haven't looked great. But
Bucks got Bucky Irving back, Godwin back. I think they're just gonna too much talent.
Yeah, they should win. Maybe
no Kamara in that game. Devin Neal, I don't think is ready to handle all that.
Seahawks -6.5 against the road against the
Falcons.
This
is a trappy game. Yeah, this is a trappy game.
Kind of a little trappy. +6.5, and that's +100. So really +7 if you're thinking about -110. I'd probably say that, but again, implications-wise, I don't think we need to talk too much about it. The Falcons are kind of dead in the water. Seahawks.
I could see the Falcons covering in that game. I'll say that, and I'll leave it there.
All right. We got to talk Colts, Jags, Titans, Browns. I don't think there's much to say here.
Nothing there. Yeah, Titans, Browns, and Jets versus Miami. No one cares. My dad's going to the Jets game. Be safe out there.
Titans, Browns. I would say I'm not betting the Browns -4.5. I'm
not touching the game. I don't.
The over/under on that game is 33.5, and the Browns are 4.5-point favorites. That's over 10% of the points that they're projected to be scored. They're going to win by. It's just a weird number, weird line.
Browns are also banged up. Jack Conklin's going to be out that game at left tackle, whatever, right tackle, whatever the fuck.
Yeah. Again, Jets and Dolphins, like you mentioned. Hope your dad has a good time. I was at MetLife earlier this year for the Cowboys game. Yeah, I mean, I don't really. Again, two teams that are out of it.
No one cares.
Yeah, Commanders, Vikings, kind of a similar thing.
JJ McCarthy's back, starting. I mean, we'll see what that is. That could be a bust.
Yeah, he can't be worse than Brosmer. That was pretty fucking.
Aiden Daniels is back though, so that's cool to see. Even with them being 3-9, and he probably could have just hung it up for the season. He's coming back to play.
I think he's too young of a player. As great.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. The reps. Yep, I agree.
As successful as the season he had last year, I don't think he's earned the right. I think he definitely wants to.
He's
play.
Earned it, but yeah.
No, I think he definitely wants to play.
That's what I think.
I don't think his reputation is like, oh, we got to just keep him out and then go to next year. Like, he still needs to get better. He's good, but like he's not impervious to like, oh, just rest him no matter what. I think he needs to play.
You want to create some momentum into your next season. Like, you don't want to just finish out the year based on an injury and like you don't even have anything to recollect based on from the previous season. Like, if he finishes strong, last 4 games, 5 games, plays really high level football, he has something to build off of into the next season too. As a young
and obviously he won 2 playoff games, so like obviously he did well against good teams. But basically, the Patriots' schedule this year was like the Commanders' schedule last year. Where your division is matched up against 2 very easy divisions, and then since you finished last in your division, you have
the last place schedule. Yeah,
you get the last place in 3 other divisions from the year before. I said, the Patriots this year played the Raiders, the Titans, and the Giants, and then they were AFC North, where they got the Bengals without Burrow, the Browns, a weak Steelers team, a Ravens team without Lamar, and then you get the NFC South, where you get the Saints are the worst team in the NFL. The Panthers are not great. The Bucks are not great. And the Falcons are not great. And, obviously this year in their own division, that's 2 games against the Dolphins, who aren't good, 2 games against the Jets, who aren't good. Their best wins are the Bills and the Bucks, and I don't know how good the Bills and the Bucks are. And it's very similar to Washington last year, where they had a very easy schedule based on circumstance. Cowboys without Dak, stuff like that. Like it all opened up for them last year. And again, I'm not trying to hate on Jaden Daniels.
That's part of it, though. It's gotta, in order for you to have a run, it's gotta open up. I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, well, when you're that young, like a rookie quarterback or second-year quarterback,
got to align a little bit for you to make that.
My point being, like, he hasn't proven. They got to the NFC Championship game. They did have good playoff wins, but then again, when they got to the NFC Championship game, they got the doors blown off them. They get they got killed. It wasn't like it was a great year, but again, he still has more to prove to where you could be like he still is just as close to RG3 as he is to Joe Burrow, or
I think it's all in front of him, and I think getting starts in general and just getting reps is everything. When you're young.
All right, and then we can go to the 4:00 games. Again, a couple stinkers here. Broncos, Raiders.
That will be a murder scene if I'm not mistaken. I think Max Crosby didn't practice.
He always plays though. No matter what, he'll be out there. But still, if he's hampered, he's beat up. I don't know. I think the Broncos obviously take care of business, but they've been playing everybody kind of close. So, you've seen it with your own Giants team this year. The Broncos are a weird team. They remind me kind of the Chiefs last year, where they're winning a ton of games, but they're all seem to be close.
You know what I'll say though? I think this is one of those get right games for them, and they go on the road in Vegas, and I
mean, 7.5.
I think this could be like a real beatdown.
It could be, but they haven't done that to anyone all year, if I'm not mistaken.
It's true. They do like playing in the mud, but I think some of the teams that they played that they were in the mud with were underrated in a sense. But I do think that they find ways to win, and I think that's given them confidence to come into this game. And I don't know, if they look past the record, I think they could stop the shit out of them. If they stare at the record, that's where they come out flat and maybe get.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Broncos are a good team. I think they're a good team. But this what I'm saying applies to most of the NFL, to be fair. I don't think there's any scary teams in the NFL right now. The number 1 seed in the NFC is the Bears. I think they're good. I don't think they're great.
Well, we can get to that game next, actually, because I think that this is the game where they maybe get exposed a little bit against the Packers.
Yeah, I mean, Packers being -7 is a massive favorite. Obviously, the Bears coming off a huge lift. Big
a lot
win.
of disrespect towards the Bears, considering they're the 1 seed. A lot of disrespect here.
Yeah, I mean, they just went on the road and ran over the Eagles. Basically like a
220 yards of rushing yards. Yeah, crazy.
More than that. I think it was like 280. Like, just with their running back, Swift had 130, Monanga had 121. That's 251 right there. And then I think Caleb scrambled a bit.
Yeah.
They ran down their throat, and the Packers have a better run defense than the Eagles. Don't get me wrong, but -7 is kind of a crazy line.
I also don't like some of the people that I'm seeing on the injury. I see Wyatt here, who's one of their main run stopper defensive tackles. He's out, actually. I see that. Luke Van Ness, also at defensive end, is out for the Packers. So they're missing a couple key people on their defensive line. I don't think Jaden Reed is going to play. He's questionable. They've been trying to get him back.
Yeah, he hasn't played all year yet. I think they got
year. Matthew Golden's questionable. He's been a nothing, though, all year. I don't know. Let me see any injuries. Is TJ Edwards playing? Wow, TJ Edwards is back. This Bears team is getting healthy at the right time. They got back Gordon and Jalen Johnson last week on the defense, and now they get back TJ Edwards at linebacker. Roma Dunze's out, though. I did see that.
Yeah, no, this is one of the games to talk about this week, obviously. I think the Bears fan base has to be thinking, like, okay, this is whether we're real or not. Can we go into Lambeau and win? And if they do go into Lambeau and win this week, they have to start thinking, like, is this a Super Bowl team? And I know that's tough for Chicago Bears fans given their history, their past. They've been really kind of a bottom-of-the-barrel franchise for a while. But this guy, Ben Johnson, seems to be the real deal. Ryan Poles, despite a lot of criticism, has kind of pulled off some great moves, like Byard in the offseason, getting him.
Byard, TJ Edwards, yeah. Giving
the NFL picks. Picking
Darnell Wright. Monangai's a nice find.
Exactly. Darnell Wright a couple of years ago. He's obviously developed into one of the better tackles in the NFL.
Loveland's a nice piece, too. Burden, the third, is a nice.
I still think Loveland over Kyler Warren is probably a bad move, but.
Yeah, but still, though, I'm not even comparing those. I'm just saying, as a player, like Loveland's a nice player. He can.
Yeah, but I'm just saying you could have drafted Tyler Warren, another tight end, and you took Colston Loveland. Like,
imagine this team with Tyler Warren.
That's what I'm saying. I think Tyler Warren was a better player coming out.
Loveland had some nice catches though down that sideline. He had a game-winning catch in that other game. Like, he's a nice player.
No, he's decent, but like Cole Kmet plays just as much as Loveland. He's like a split
with a big touchdown.
That's not one of the things I look to Ryan Poles and be like,
and I would be like, I'm saying that the drafting of Loveland is a general success. The drafting Loveland over Warren is a fail, for sure.
Yeah, which is that just makes it a failure. Like, you can't say one without saying the other.
It would only be a pure failure to me if Loveland was bad, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's too early to kind of tell, but it's pretty close to
It's definitely I think we're done with the conversation that Warren is better than Loveland.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you can't say like Colston Loveland was a good pick. But I don't
consider the pick of Loveland itself as in a vacuum a fail. I think it's a fail that if you're comparing the idea of what he could have gotten in that spot.
And what I'm saying is you can't say one without the other. You can't.
But that's like saying like if I was in a pick and I drafted a left tackle and he was solid. But I had a chance to draft, like looking back a couple of years later, I see a middle linebacker I could have drafted who ended up being a Hall of Famer. That doesn't mean that the left tackle.
That's the disconnect. You said left tackle and middle linebacker. We're saying tight end and tight end.
Tight end. Okay, that's fair.
Right after one another.
I think that's fair. If you're talking about the same position and you were going after that position, I think that's fair. All right.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. You can't say.
I'm writing.
Yeah. But either way, I like what Ryan Poles has done.
He's done a good job, for sure. Yeah. I was going to say something about Caleb, though.
Okay.
He has stats that are not good about his throwing. Like 29th in the league in terms of accuracy under in terms of when he's getting under duress. He's not a very accurate quarterback in general statistically. I'm not sold on Caleb Williams. I'll be clear. He has made okay. Here's what I'll say. He's weird. He's a weird player to judge because he's made so many crazy off-schedule throws. Even the throw to Kmet last week, rolling to his left, was a fucking seed. So there's no taking anything away from Caleb that he has made countless clutch throws this year. But he has also made so many easy-peasy throws that you wonder what the fuck.
I think you hit the nail on the head there when you said clutch. He's been clutch this year. Very, very clutch. they've come from behind a lot in the fourth quarter and won a lot of games.
Because of his bad throws.
Where he's made big throws at the end of the game. And then you could get to the point where like, oh, comebacks, how much credit do we give? Because you have to fall behind to come back. Now we're getting very like semantical. But like
this is the Eli Manning conversation again.
In winning time, he has been clutch. Yes, the completion percentage isn't great, but also like I think part of that is he's very careful. He doesn't throw interceptions. So he's throwing a lot of balls where only his guy can get it or no one gets it, which is going to hurt your completion percentage. In his career, he's thrown 37 touchdown passes and 11 interceptions. Like, over 2 seasons, like 20-6 last year. So far,
he doesn't fumble. He's not like a fumble-itis guy either, I don't think.
No, he's maybe fumbled a little bit, but I'll tell you the difference between this year and last year, Caleb, is that last year he was sacked more than any player in the NFL. And this year, for a total of 68 sacks, and this year with 5 games left, he's only been sacked 19 times all year. They shored up that offensive line. Again, they've lost guys, have guys they drafted this year playing and stepping up and playing well. And part of that is the players they draft, Ryan Poles, and the other part of that is Ben Johnson with play design and scheme and, realizing how to use Caleb. And I think Ben Johnson has been every bit as advertised as the guy that everyone wanted to hire, and he is pretty much in the front runner for Coach of the Year, if not like the way front runner for Coach of the Year. You got to give a look, but that could fall apart, and you got to give I'm blanking right now. Who was I thinking of? Whatever, who cares? But he's right up there for Coach of the Year, if not the.
It's him and Vrabel, I would say.
Vrabel, that's the name I was thinking of. Thank you.
I think Vrabel's already won it, so I think maybe he won't get a look for it. But a different team, though, so maybe he will. But, yeah, you're right. That signings of, like, Jonah Jackson and Joe Thuney and, it's just smart decision-making, letting I want
to look at the rookie draft.
Letting Keenan Allen kind of walk and not paying him, like, a real premium to be, like, that veteran that comes in. I think that was smart because it let Rome take that step, and Rome's looked great. It sucks that Rome's going to be out, but he's actually looked very good this year. DJ Moore, Eddie.
They drafted this guy, Ozzie Trapillo, and he just people got hurt and he stepped up and has been awesome.
Yeah, from Boston College. I remember you talking about him. Yeah,
he's been very, very good. So we'll see. I mean, I don't know. It's a tough spot to be in.
I really like the Packers front and the way they've been playing as of late. The only thing I'll say is that you talk about quarterbacks and you don't know what game you're going to get. Jordan Love is like the quintessential guy in this conversation. There are some weeks where Jordan Love is the top 5 quarterback in the NFL, bar none. There's no question about it. When he's dealing, he's almost unstoppable. But there are times where he's like rocking, firing like Andy Dalton, and he's just blind to what's happening out there, and it's just ugly as fuck. And
he's
another guy I don't know what to make of.
Yeah, he's a good quarterback, not a great one, but he's also
he leans back on that back foot, rock and fire. You know what I'm talking about? Just like
super talented. I mean, he's got a great arm. He's good.
Got a great arm.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to say this game hinges on how Jordan Love plays, and if he plays well, they win fairly comfortably, and if he plays bad, they lose. That's a fair take. I think
that's what I would say. I don't think the Bears are as affected by Caleb's bad play throughout a game to still keep them in a position to win. I feel like when Jordan Love plays poorly, the Packers always lose. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, I hear you. And then I guess the last 4:00 game, we got the Rams and the Cardinals. Rams big favorites, -10 on the road. Kind of a bounce back spot for them. Weird game last week against the Panthers. Stafford, after going 9 games without throwing an interception, throws 2, fumbles.
It's underrated. The secondary is one of the best in football, though.
Yeah, but J.C. Horn was out. It wasn't that.
I thought Horn had a pick in that game.
No, J.C. Horn was out last game.
He got
hurt the game before. I'm certain. You can look it up if you want, but
damn, that's crazy to do all that without him.
Yeah, they had a pick 6 and a pick in the red zone, and then forced a fumble at the end of the game to basically close it out. Mike Jackson had the pick 6.
Holy shit.
Yeah, J.C. Horn got hurt the game before.
Okay.
So
their defense had a lot of improvement for what I'm seeing. 70 or fewer total yards in terms of total yards per game that they're giving up right now. Around 330 total yards per game, which is I'm
not saying their defense is bad, but for Matt Stafford to go from not throwing any interceptions for 8 games in a row to, him throwing 2 and fumbling, like, it's just a little bit of an anomaly. I'm not saying I'm not going to say, oh, it's because they played the Panthers defense that are playing better. That's why he threw 2 picks. I think it was just kind of came in probably expecting to stomp them and just kind of fell on their laurels a little bit. Like the first pick he threw, both the picks he threw were really dumb picks. Like,
First, I think the second one he was trying to do almost not a no look, but like it looked like he didn't even.
And it was right before the half, like fourth. Like, they could have just got off the field and been like in a close game going into halftime. And instead,
I respect it though. He's never going to lose that gunslinger. And when you have Puka making catches like he made on that sideline,
that was crazy.
And Devontae is not guardable within a 20-yard bracket. Like Devontae's still the best receiver in football, maybe. Like
around the goal line, he's been easily the best.
That's what I'm saying. Within like a 20-yard bracket, John, like it's just me, you, and 20 yards of football field. You can't stop him.
No, he's all of his touchdowns. He's got 11 touchdowns in like the last 6 games, and they're all like 8 yards, 1 yard, 2 yards, 3 yards, 6 yards. Like he's even the one game he had 3 touchdowns and he had like 30 yards. He's just eating around the goal line. That's another thing when Casey was like, "Oh, belt the ass." It's like, well, he has Devontae Adams and I have Stafford, and it was like you said where the wide receiver has a big game and then the quarterback doesn't. It was that exact thing.
That's usually the mechanism too, because for some reason these guys will throw like 150
yards.
That
ended up being the difference in our matchup is that Devontae Adams had that difference between Stafford and Mahomes was the same as Rice. Like
those touchdowns he had like what 10 yards.
Who?
Devontae.
Well, Devontae Adams had 2 touchdowns around the goal line.
They were both I think he had 7 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns or something stupid.
No, he definitely had more, like
30 yards. Yeah,
he had 1 big catch I saw for like 40 yards.
That was later in the game. I mean, like early in the game, like the first half. He had 13 points. I think he had 2 touchdowns.
I'm talking about like the whole game.
Yeah, total stats ended up with like 50,
21 points, and Stafford at 13 at fantasy.
I remember looking at your matchup and seeing that he had like 2 touchdowns. I think it was like 6 yards.
Yeah, at one point, yeah.
At one point, like the first half, yeah.
Or maybe, I don't know, because I think he had the big catch before his second touchdown. But whatever, regardless. He scored around the goal line.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think the Rams take care of business. I think they probably win big. I'm a little nervous about Stafford, like them dominating and him not getting a bunch of points. But I don't think I can play Bo Nix this week. So I think I'm just going to ride out with take the girl home who I brought to the dance, whatever that's saying.
I kind of like that. I think the Rams offense is going to look for a little bit of a bounce back. I don't think Stafford likes turning the ball over like that. And I think Stafford still has his eyes set on trying to get a league MVP. So I could see him coming out and wanting to deal it out nice. I still think that MVP is up for grabs a little bit with him. And
obviously the Cardinals are dead. Like, the
Cardinals are dead, but I think the Cardinals
not playing. Like, they just got rid of Kyler Murray. Like, it's kind of like they're just punting. So -10 feels about right. But a home team getting 10 points in the NFL, like.
Yeah, like Marvin Harrison's out. I think Michael Wilson's going to eat heavy. He'll be back to what he was doing like week 12.
Respect's been throwing the ball more than any quarterback in the NFL the past few weeks.
So I don't know. I mean, I definitely think they could cover the 10, but I still think that the Rams it might be one of these where it's like at one point it's like 21-14, and then Stafford just throws a huge touchdown to make it 28-14, and then then the doors have officially been blown off type of game.
Devontae Adams and Trey McBride to both score a touchdown. Plus 270.
Easy.
I like that.
I like that too.
The standalone games. We got the Texans and the Chiefs. This might be the biggest game of the week. Chiefs -3.5 at home. Over under 41.5.
Yeah.
Virtually an elimination game for the Chiefs. Chiefs are 6-6 with 5 games left. They're at home against the Texans. They're at home against the Broncos. They're at home against the Chargers. And then I believe their other 2 games on the road are the Raiders and someone else, which should be a win. But this Chiefs team, I mean, if they do win this game, this is the domino effect.
This is the other game, by the way, week 16.
Yeah. So that's another game on the road they should win. The Titans are debatably
they will win.
It's either the Titans or the Saints. One of these. There's a couple, and the Raiders. You could argue the Raiders and the Titans, their last 2 road games, are the worst 2 teams in the NFL. You could argue.
Yeah, they lose 2 of those games. People are getting fired.
Yeah, no, they are at a point now. Like I said, this is the domino effect game. You win this one, then all of a sudden, like you win the next four, and no one wants to see the Chiefs in the playoffs.
You got it. If you lose this game and then you play in the sand with the Broncos next week and maybe figure out a way to win, but
if you're 6-7, I think 10-7 is going to be really tough to get in the AFC. Just with how it's top heavy this year, it's going to be really tough to get in at 10-7, especially in that division with the Chargers already at 8 wins, with the Broncos already at 9 wins or 10 wins. I don't know. I think 9 wins.
Mahomes is going to be missing Jawan Taylor at tackle and Trey Smith at guard. It looks like they're both going to be out. I mean, that's tough. This Houston defense is absolutely, from everything I've heard and read and on this team, like ferocious, dude. Just a ferocious defense. Maybe the best defense in football. It's up there with Seattle and I don't know who else offhand, but I would say them. Maybe the Bears on a given week or the Packers on a given week, but I gotta say maybe the Houston Texans.
I don't even think it's really a conversation. I don't
even know if it's a conversation anymore. I think we're at the point now where it's like the Houston Texans have the best defense in football.
I would 100% agree. I think they really had a draft a couple of years ago where they had Stroud and Bryce Young and then they got the kid from Alabama. What's his name? Shit, the pass rusher.
Will Anderson.
Thank you. I was going to say Mario Anderson. I was thinking Mario Williams.
Yeah. No, they got Will Anderson and then they picked up Daniil Hunter in free agency. I think that's like the next offseason. Like they got Azeez Al-Shaair from that next offseason from the Niners.
That was that weird year where the Vikings got Greenard from the Texans and the Texans got Hunter from the Vikings. Like it was like almost a trade. But it was definitely like they seem to have won that.
There's just elite players all over this team. Christian Harris from Alabama's on this defense still. You got fucking Petrie, an amazing player.
Derek Stingley's,
top 3 corner. Yeah, this team is disgusting.
And I love the safety Bullock. Bullock. Yeah, he's awesome. Like he's a great player.
What's his name? One of the Mikes, Tolo, whatever his name is, and the linebacker. He's
defensive staff. They come after it, and like their unit is monstrous. Like I think with Stroud coming back too, this is going to be a great game. This is a Sunday Night Football game. Like I'm excited for. Like I might rest a little bit during the 4 o'clock, depending how that Bears-Packers game goes.
That's the game.
Make sure I stay up for the Sunday Night Football game. It's like one of those. I want to see the Chiefs and Texans this week. Like I want to.
And everyone wants to see the Chiefs finally just like someone gavel them officially.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the Chiefs are they're like, what is dead may never die. Like, fucking Game of Thrones shit. Like, I'm not counting. Like I said, if they win this game, look out. Straight up. Like, this is the game where you find yourself thinking, like, oh, they win it. Especially if they, are impressive. But, it's the league is weird. They have their holes. This Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, Rashee Rice, Kelsey is still playing pretty well. Worthy's a weapon. Their offense, Kareem Hunt has been a beast. Pacheco's kind of fallen off a little bit, but still, their offense is good. The last couple of years, I think the Chiefs' defense has been really, really, really good. And this year, they haven't been. And that's the big difference. We saw McDuffie get used and abused by Pickens and Lamb last week. We saw Nick Bolton and Drew Tranquil start to slow down a little bit. Chris Jones has not been the same game record that he has been in the past. They've gotten a bit older on defense.
They were missing a couple players too on that defense, Karlaftis and Brian Cook, and they're both playing this week for the record. Just throwing that out there.
Fair, but this defense is not the defense it's been the past couple of years, and it's going to take almost like a chip where we saw the Chiefs get carried by their offense, then get carried by their defense a little bit. Their offense is going to have to carry them. They're going to have to.
And you're missing the tackle and the guard, Trey Smith and Jawan Taylor. That's going to be tough, man, against that front, man.
And they're going to have to score 24 plus points to win this game, in my opinion. You got
to get a turnover or two. They got to force Nick Chubb to fumble. Something they got to make an off-schedule play on that defense. If they play them straight up, I don't know. It's a very close game to call here. Is it a pick 'em?
No, the Chiefs are minus 3.5. The half is weirding me out for some reason. -3 makes sense at home, need a win. Texans are coming off some momentum. Maybe they're feeling themselves a little bit. Chiefs are desperate, and again, They're the Chiefs. They're Patrick Mahomes. They're the juggernaut.
Mahomes is throwing 4 touchdowns a week. He's kind of in his groove. He's got all his weapons.
And that's what I'm saying. Like
it'll take 30 points to win that game for them. It'll take
I said 24, but yeah, 30.
Yeah. I'm kind of with you.
All right, but we can keep it moving. Eagles Chargers Monday night.
Oh my God! Please, we're all begging the Chargers to beat this Eagles team and let them implode. Please.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at, is it a 2023 collapse for the Eagles again, or is it, this team is? There's no way they're as good as last year. The offensive line is.
Dylan Carter's out this week too.
Yep. Lane Johnson, we all know the Lane Johnson stat. It's like a 500 record versus a fucking 800, record when Lane Johnson plays. And this Eagles team, like, also culturally, there's a AJ Brown every week yapping. Hurts is just regurgitating quotes he read in a book one time. The Sirianni is just defending the players, putting all the blame on himself, which I guess is what a good player.
Good coach. His coach speak is fine.
It's very, even like his punt returner dropped a punt, and to be fair, against the Cowboys got stopped on 4th down after that. It didn't hurt the Eagles at all. But still, everyone's pointing at punt returner, this and that, and he's like, "That's my fault. I didn't coach him up enough." And it's like, maybe his Pop Warner coach didn't coach him up enough, to not catch a ball at the 2-yard line or whatever it was when he fumbled.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Even though that still didn't hurt them.
It was at the 6th, John, and he let it bounce, and it took that bad bounce. You're supposed to catch that ball. That was crazy.
But it also still didn't hurt them because
I know.
The Cowboys didn't score, so it's just
the same thing. Honestly, when I saw that play, I remember that.
You got the ball the same place you would have just a minute later in the game or whatever. So,
totally, I saw that exact same play. I was wondering why that punt returner didn't catch that ball and secure that. Like, you're crazy.
But all to say that Sirianni blamed himself for that, which is obviously not Nick Sirianni.
Yeah. I think he's fine. It's like the Eli Manning thing, which is you just fall in the story for everything and everything's your fault. You kind of just leave in front.
That's when you do it that hard, though, it almost becomes transparent. You know what I mean?
A couple things I want to say about this team. Number one, Saquon has turned into this villainous type of guy that he's tried to lean into, and it's not boded him well. He doesn't wear that well. Number one. Number two, Jalen Hurts. Listening to him on Hard Knocks is like you said, coach speak, reading out of a book. Is kind of the way he talks is just a little annoying. If I was a player on his team, he would annoy me a little bit. I don't know how to explain that.
He's not one of the guys.
He's not one of the guys. It feels like he's above you when he's talking to you. Even if he's talking in a with you fashion, it's still the tone and it's like John said on the phone when we were talking about this. He's just too pretty almost. It's just everything's so pretty and manicured. I don't know. Even his statements are so manicured. It's a good word to use, I think. But
his thing is, and also not for nothing, not just his speech and this and the way he behaves. It's also the reports are that he doesn't want to run the ball. He doesn't want to do the design runs as much anymore. He's worried about his long-term, career and health, and that it's a huge. We were talking about with Lamar and Derrick Henry. That's a huge element of the Eagles' offense that's been so successful. Is Hurts designed runs, and they basically have cut them out, and everyone's pointing Patullo. And it's well, if Patullo's hands are tied because the quarterback doesn't want to do design runs or doesn't want to do this.
I don't even think it's Patullo's hands are tied because he doesn't run. Bro doesn't make simple throws.
Well, that's compounds the problem. Is that he doesn't want to run and he's not a great pocket passer. So it's if you don't want to run and you're not a great.
I don't think he's honest. I think it's I think there is an image issue. It's also with Jalen Hurts and who he thinks he is versus his actual ability to throw the ball. I feel like part of it is that the ego lives within him, that he's made big throws. He won the Super Bowl making big throws. In that run, he's made big throws, right? But
he's played great in big games in the playoffs. So
for sure. He's a clutch player for all intents and purposes. No one can take anything away from him. He's won on the highest level against some of the best talent. And beating.
But he also has had a stacked roster since he's been a starter in the NFL.
There's no doubt that last year his rhythm throwing the football under Kellen Moore was a lot better. Like, it's just the rhythm of the game and the way he would throw the ball. This year feels so, it's like the ugly football downs where you have to make a completion and good quarterbacks figure out a way to do it. He doesn't really have
they were
that.
Also in rhythm when they had the best running back. I mean, the best running game in maybe the history of football.
NFL. Yeah.
You know, and this year they don't have that, and that's a huge difference.
Yeah, but that's a lot of teams. When the running game is going well, they play well.
It wasn't running game going well. It was historic.
It was performance. It was to the point where they would hand the ball to Saquon, and like you were wondering whether he was going to take it for a touchdown or not every time he touched the ball.
2,000 rushing yards without even playing the 17.
The Rams run when he's smacking himself in the helmet. It's just like that run epitomized the whole season. I feel like.
Yeah, he was gone all the time.
He was gone before you could touch him.
Yeah. And this offensive line, and it's not all hurt. The offensive line has not been as good. Mailata is not as good at left tackle. Lane Johnson's been hurt, but even when he has been in, he's not the same. Dickerson's been hurt all year. Jurgens has been banged up all year.
No one wants to talk about Dickerson. This guy has been in and out of the lineup all year.
When you have an offensive line that's running the ball that much, that's pushing that much, that's in the trenches battling that much, and they go to the Super Bowl and they play, and then you bring them all back besides Mekhi Becton, which has been a big difference having Steen and Fred Johnson, these guys playing for Mekhi Becton, who was a fucking mauler last year.
Yeah, he was great at guard.
Great. Like, and, you know, now they're playing against Mekhi Becton this week if he's healthy. I could be wrong.
That sounds right.
Further, you know, and if Hampton
he's not on the injury report. Bud Dupree, full practice too. Amari and Hampton is supposed to play. What's the line in this game, by the way?
The Chargers are home dogs plus 2.5.
Alt that up to 3.5. Maybe let me hang out with Dicker there.
Well, the problem is the reason that line is like that is because of Herbert and his hand, and if he can't go under center because of that hampers the offense. If he has to, you know, take shotgun snaps.
Eagles still get respect. You know,
and to be fair, all this to be said, the Eagles aren't a bad team. They still have a good defense who
they're a top 10 team in the NFL. They're just not a team that's
on a bad 2-game losing streak where they, you know, the Cowboys loss looks a lot worse because they went up 21-0 and then blew the lead, and the Bears loss looks really bad because they got ran over. Like they're you know, historic. The last time the Bears had 2 runners go over 120 yards each was probably like 1985 or something, you know.
Crazy that the Cowboys came back. I remember you told me a stat once that the Cowboys, when they play with the lead versus coming from behind, I remember we talked about that, I think, at one point.
Yeah, they're not good at playing from behind. Typically,
they're not good at playing from behind, but that comeback, them coming back to that 21-point down, speaks volumes about this Eagles team not being the same and just something going on there, obviously, because Cowboys essentially are not a team that comes from behind, and they did great coming from behind that game. That defense played outstanding in that second half.
Yeah, the Eagles, that game, like, Saquon wasn't running the ball well. I think he
not at all.
10 carries for 22 or 23 yards, something like that. But still, the fact that he only had 10 carries, even if you're only getting 2 yards a carry, if you're up 21 points with 10 minutes left in the second quarter,
the ball. Yeah,
just run the fucking ball. They got cute with it, and you know the Cowboys took advantage, and you know they're good. Yeah. Like, the Cowboys have a good, really, really good offense. So they fought back and they battled, and they have a weapon as a kicker. You know,
just because we're talking about it, and before we get into the Hotz corner here, any by the way, what's your pick on this one for the Chargers Philly before we wrap it up?
I mean, I think I hate to say I think Philly probably pulls it out. I think their defense plays well. The only thing is Jalen Carter isn't playing. You know, that's kind of the big leverage point. If Hampton plays and, you know, him and Vidal both get off. So, you know, I don't know. It's really close. I think
Keenan Allen's healthy. He made it to this week 14 matchup. Like, he's made it through the season. Pretty unbelievable. Shouts to Keenan, over 1,000 catches.
That's what you were saying, like, maybe move it to plus 3.5 and, you know,
ult it up a little.
Heavy favorite or something like that. But, no, it's a tough game to pick. I mean, coin flip for me, but if I had to flip a coin, like, I'm going to pick against the Eagles because I hate them, I guess, and I want them to lose. So
I like home dogs always, and especially Herbert. I feel like, you know, being able to put this injury behind him in a sense. Like, he did the surgery. He knows what he has. He knows what he's able to do now. It's not like mid-game. Like, he kind of can just deal with what it is. And
but if that does mean they have to go shotgun every play, which is not a Jim Harbaugh style. Shotgun every play. And then otherwise, like, Otherwise, Justin Herbert runs the ball pretty well. You know,
he does.
If he can't tuck it in his left hand going to his left, like there's little limitations to it, but I tend to agree with you. I think even
he's a freak. He's still a freak.
He's still a beast, yeah. And he could, but almost like you talked about with Jordan Love, like Justin Herbert has fucking
he's a rock and fire guy too. That like some of these games you just don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, and all this is that it's a ton of speculation. It's a close matchup. You got to take the points there, especially at home. So I think I have to take the Chargers.
What are your thoughts on the Lions and the Cowboys game from Thursday?
I mean, overarching thoughts are, some of the guys didn't play their best game. Pickens, had a couple tough plays in there where it seemed like maybe he could have, made some bigger plays
that he didn't lay for. Yeah.
Obviously CD Lamb going out when he was absolutely fucking cooking, beforehand. I think he had 6 catches for 120 yards in the first half.
They scored that touchdown. They're down by 5 or 6 at that point.
Well, at the end of the game, I think it epitomized it when they kicked the field goal down 10 to go down 7. And it's like they've been kicking field goals the whole fucking game. Like when they kicked that field goal, I was like, barring the Lions kind of making a mistake, that was the game. Like they're down 7, and the Lions have the ball. Basically, just need a couple first downs or a score.
Lions' run game was unstoppable the whole night.
Well, not even so much the run game. It's like Gibbs as a receiver was
fucking as a receiver, but Monty looked great.
Monty had a solid game too, but Gibbs as a receiver, I think, was the real X factor in that game that maybe the Cowboys weren't fully prepared for because they were like splitting him out against Deron Bland, and he was running crisp ass routes. I mean, like he made Deron Bland at one point. He just like stopped on a dime, and Deron Bland like fucking face planted with his feet like in the air above his head. Like it was like
that was insane. Stopping on a dime on that play and being able to run upfield there with all your momentum, running like 21 miles an hour to 0 there is just like
his 60 to 0 is impressive as a 0 to 60.
He'd break someone else's ACL to stop like that.
No, he's spectacular. And like I said, in that wrinkle of like, we're gonna split him out in the slot and even in the X and let him run routes against corners and he's gonna win. Yeah. Like that was not something
special teams in general won that game. Like Kennedy was doing wonderful with those returns. I feel like every time he touched the ball on every return, he changed he flipped the field. I don't think Anger was able to. Even Anger's punt from the own goal line was a beautiful punt. It's like a 65-yard punt. Kennedy was able to take it up the field for like 20 yards, change the field position there.
Gibbs only had 43 yards rushing in that game, but he had 7 catches for 77 yards. That he was fucking split out, just dominating.
Monty had like 10 carries for like 60-something yards. So what is that, like 17 carries total for 115 yards between the two of them?
I mean, no, they ran the ball well too. I'm not saying that, but I think the big difference, like that's 7 catches for 77 yards from your running back. And it wasn't like screen passes. It was him splitting
out Philly routes. Yeah. Amon-Ra also playing was the, if he didn't play, that
for sure.
That was huge.
Definitely.
It felt like when they needed one, every time they needed one, he was there. Like he didn't play his game, but he was there.
Third down machine. But Montgomery had 60 yards and a touchdown rushing, so they had a little over 100 between the two of them. But like I said, when they needed to play, it was Gibbs and it was Amon-Ra. Split
Dak
out.
also had that interception that wasn't his fault. That kind of just popped up into the air off the like the chest of that receiver, if I remember right.
Well, I think it was deflected at the line, the one to start the second half. But that was.
There was one that like hit the receiver in the chest, dude, and it popped into the air, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe Ferguson. The one to start the second half, I think, was just tipped up and just caught. That was just like, that was a bad one. But I mean, even starting the second half, just like throwing the ball first play, like they should have. I don't know, establish the run a little bit, like make them work a little harder. But it is what it is. They, like the Lions are good, and they had just beat the Chiefs. They just beat the Eagles. They just beat the Raiders. Like they had to play perfect football, and they didn't. They played bad football, And they were still down 7 with like 3 or 4 minutes to go, and then
I think it was like 5 or 6.
The wheels fell off a little bit, there.
Yeah,
happens.
They were in it till the end,
and
they were buried early too.
And I love Brandon Aubrey; he's fucking spectacular. But
he's
like you got to score touchdowns against good offenses. Like you can't be like we're not going to win kicking 4 field goals against good teams.
Jameson Williams is also a legit 2, and he's a great player. He's a great player. He ran some really sick routes. Like I saw one that he ran like he was going upfield. You thought he was gone, and then boom, stops on a dime, comes back to the ball for a big third down conversion or whatever that was.
He's a beast.
He's a beast. You know, he's a beast too. So shouts to JMO as well.
Yeah. All right, but we could get into it here.
Little Hotz corner. I'll take a hit of my chillum here.
There you go.
Going to a little afternoon party at a colleague's in about an hour or so.
All right, we'll get into it then. Who is the greatest double play combo middle infield you've ever seen?
Ooh. Oh man, your two guys were good back in the day, Ordonez and Edgardo. They were great.
That's a good one. I like that. All right,
I'll start there. I have some other names to think about, but I have some other combos, but I'll start there.
All right, the Frey or Dave Matthews Band?
Whew, man, I hate the both of them. It's tough. I'll probably say Dave.
All right. Power rank these MLB free agents: Kyle Schwarber, Pete Alonso, Kyle Tucker, Alex Bregman, and Cody Bellinger.
Obviously, it's depending on the team usage, like need, but I like Schwarber, man. Wow. Probably Schwarber 1, just because of impact and how lethal he is. Bellinger 2.
Come on, man.
Who else did you have there on the list?
I had, again, Kyle Schwarber, Pete Alonso, Kyle Tucker, Alex Bregman, and Cody Bellinger. So far, you said Schwarber and Bellinger.
Schwarber, Bellinger, Bregman, Tucker, Alonso.
All right. Best documentary you've ever seen?
Doc? Maybe The Last Dance.
That's a good one. I might have asked that before. Power rank these point guards.
I might have said something different in a sense, like best sports something, like best sports.
Yeah, maybe.
Doc. Yeah.
Power rank these point guards' careers: Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, or Tony Parker.
Tony Parker. Russell Westbrook is number 1. Chris Paul number 2. Tony Parker number 3.
When was the last time you cried watching a film?
Watching a film. I'm cried watching a film. I guess tear up. I don't know.
You could pass.
Yeah, I'll pass for that.
All right. Power rank these NFL Hall of Very Good running backs: Deuce McAllister, Warwick Dunn, and Sean Alexander.
Sean Alexander is number 1. Next to his stuff. I'll probably say Warwick Dunn and then Deuce McAllister.
What is your favorite J. Cole song?
Lights, Please.
Who is your favorite college football player right now?
Favorite college football player right now? Oh, man. Probably London Baronis.
London Baronis?
Baronis, as in Rob Baronis' son, the kicker on Stanford.
Okay. And then who was the most impactful coach or teacher from your youth? We could get into why after when we recap.
Probably my 4th grade or 3rd grade English teacher, Mrs. Klein.
Mrs. Klein. All right. And then back to last time you cried while watching a film. You have to have a memory of crying.
Yeah, no, I have a couple, but I'm trying to. You said the most recent. You said so.
Yeah. Whichever I guess comes to mind. I guess if you can't think of it exactly.
The first one that came to mind was watching Interstellar. Obviously, I teared up to that one before.
All right, sounds good. All right, do you want to recap it and then go to trivia, or go to trivia and then recap it?
Let's recap it and then we'll do trivia.
Okay. All right, greatest double play combo you've ever seen. I like Ray Ordonez and Edgardo Alfonso. Ordonez is doing a lot of work there, to be fair, but
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm trying to think of a guy. I think Jeter and Cano is cool in its prime for one point or another. But again, Cano doing a lot of the work there.
yeah, no, I mean it's still. And Alfonso was rock solid, and Ray Ordonez was spectacular. That's fine. I put Vizquel and Alomar.
Vizquel and Alomar, right? Is that the
Yeah.
literally who I had in my brain? I swear on everything.
Yeah, that's who I have there. So we're pretty aligned. But I liked Ray Ordonez was fucking spectacular. Like probably the most underrated shortstop of all time.
Kinsler and Michael Young, you like that or no?
Yeah, Michael Young, he was a shortstop for a little bit. He moved to third base pretty early. Yeah, that's not a bad pull. I think I don't know how much they played shortstop and second base together. Just off the top of my head, I could be totally wrong. But Vizquel and Alomar stand out for sure because they're both elite.
Sounds like the answer.
Players at their position. Alfonso was good, but Ordonez is probably, like I said, he was special. So I like
A-Rod and Brett Boone.
That was a good one. That was very solid. Yeah, I mean the Royals had a nice one for a little bit there. I'm blanking on the second baseman now, but Alcides Escobar.
Oh yeah.
Our shortstop.
Yeah, what's his name?
Zobrist. Alcides Escobar was a nice one.
Utility. Hell yeah, from the Rays.
Frey or Dave Matthews Band? You said you hate them both. I like Dave Matthews Band live, but the Frey has bangers, man.
They do have bangers. Over My Head and cable, whatever.
Over My Head, You Found Me. What's the? I'll Look After You is another like sneaky fucking banger.
I don't know. Dave's got Ants Marching, Some Devil, Crash Into Me. I mean, I don't know, dude.
I would probably. I've seen Dave Matthews live a couple times. They're a sick jam band. The guy plays.
I would like flush my memory, and I didn't hear any of the songs ever. And it was the first time I'm listening for the first time ever. Then I would pick Dave Matthews. I think that you have an argument that some of those songs play better over Crash Into Me. I'm over. Like we've heard it a million times. Ants Marching. I think Cable Car might be, but Cable Car is one of those songs also that, like you don't hear as often anymore. So when you do hear it, it kind of.
I didn't even say How to Save a Life too.
How to Save a Life. That's probably their most popular song. I think that one may be the most played out song. Cable Car. When you hear it, I never knew. That's classic, dude.
Yeah. No, I really like You Found Me too. Like Line on
great guitar. Yeah, big TikTok song.
Yeah, I think playability, like if I'm listening to headphones, I think the Frey, but live.
Frey probably wins repeat, but if I was starting from scratch, the best music is Dave.
All right, fair enough. Power rank these free agents. I think I had it totally different than you. I had Tucker first, then Schwarber, then Alonso, then Bellinger, then Bregman. You had Schwarber, then Bellinger, then Bregman, then Tucker, then Alonso. So we're kind of all over the board there. I did think they were all pretty close. But that's why
they're all pretty close. I do like Tucker. I feel like Bellinger is more valuable than a Tucker. I don't know. I mean, Tucker's obviously got more star.
He's the youngest. He's the fastest. He's the best
utility though, and athlete-wise, is just a freak, dude.
And he's not. And Bellinger is sneaky young too. He's only 30.
Yeah.
Alonso's probably like 31 or 32. Schwarber's probably like 34. Bregman's probably like 33. Tucker's probably.
I don't want Alonso's vibes. I don't want that in my dugout.
I mean, I have Bregman last. I think he kind of underperformed.
He's got shitty vibes.
Yeah, I like Tucker a lot. I think he had a lot. He was having a monster.
If you don't retain Bellinger, they better get Tucker.
Yeah, Tucker was having a monster year before he got hurt, and I think he kind of tanked his numbers because he didn't want to sit out because it's a contract year.
Yeah, for sure. Everyone said the same thing about that. Yeah, I saw something about that. I was watching another podcast and they were talking about exactly that he underperformed almost not on purpose, but you get the mode. Yeah,
and then Schwarber, I think after him, I think they're just still a beast. I think he's still good for 40 home runs at least. He's going to walk a lot. I don't think he'll have the same batting average he had this year. I think he had a little bit of ball and play luck this year.
Oh, his home runs feel like they have so much weight to them. I don't know how to explain that, but like when he hits one, it feels like the whole world shakes.
And he's easily the best locker room guy on this list. And then Alonso, I think similar to Schwarber, he's good for 35 home runs. A lot of RBIs. A lot of doubles
out here. I'm good on these fucking Sesame Street.
I don't know. He's pretty fucking good. He's pretty fucking clutch.
He's good. He's good as a player. His personality is just so like.
I think it's tough to put Bellinger over Alonso, but I get it. Bellinger's a good defender. Does a lot of things well. He's pretty chill. another pretty chill personality locker room guy, so I don't hate it. And then Bregman last for me. Bregman third for you, I thought was a little crazy, but that's, again, like I said, they're all pretty close. Best documentary you've ever seen. I was more thinking like movie, but yeah, Last Dance.
All right, so if we're doing like a movie documentary, like
yeah, documentary series versus movies a little different, but I didn't clarify, so you're fine.
Okay. If I'm thinking about a documentary, like a one-time watch movie, I don't know. There's like borderline ones like Malcolm X that are like not documentaries, but like it feels like a documentary the way it's filmed.
Yeah, but that's like Will Smith playing whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it's not him. But no, but best documentary, the one that I have is like that Chris Herron 30 for 30, where his obviously story where he's talking about fucking.
Well, the Aaron Hernandez doc is really good too.
Yeah, that's another good one. I think that's a couple episodes, but still closer to a movie.
Yeah, that's still a miniseries too.
That's Untold, I think, right?
Yeah, that is an Untold.
The Chris Herron, where from him at UNLV, then going to the Celtics, when he's from Boston, he has that thick Boston accent, telling the story, the edits, the cinematography.
That's a good one.
It's him talking to the people at high schools or whatever he's talking. Yeah, he's very Boston and very much. One thing that always stood out to me from that documentary was he talked about how his wife staying with him through all that shit, and then being like, I would shave and brush my teeth in the shower. Like I kept my razor and my toothbrush in the shower because I didn't want to look myself in the mirror. And then one day after being sober a long time, it just happened, and I didn't even notice. My wife pointed out to me that oh, you're brushing your teeth in front of the mirror again. I thought that was a crazy, poignant.
That sounds great. Yeah, I don't remember that distinctly, but that's crazy. Yeah, that is a weird.
Talking about going to fucking getting a bundle of heroin because he couldn't afford Roxy's anymore because they were too expensive when he's playing in the NBA. Meeting his dealer in the fucking parking lot of
the parking lot of the stadium.
Garden,
I remember that.
Crazy.
Yeah. That was a crazy doc.
Power rank these 3 point guards' careers. We are also way different on this one. I've been Tony Parker over Russell Westbrook for a long time. I've almost gotten into fist fights over it. I think Tony Parker is criminally underrated, especially when you talk about careers because of the championships. One, he's got 4 championships. He's got 4 championships. These other guys have 0.
He does have 4 championships. That's true.
And I think obviously you play with great players, but Tim Duncan is super duper amazing, top 10 to 15 NBA player all time.
Ginobili is the third best player on those championship teams?
No, I think he's better than Ginobili. But either way, Ginobili is also a Hall of Famer, very, very good player.
Better than Ginobili?
Tony Parker, yeah. Tony Parker's a stud. He never turned the ball over, did everything he had to do right, hit big shots when he needed to, was an excellent passer.
A couple big floaters that big Miami.
Played tough defense, fought on defense. Tony Parker.
Ginobili?
Tony Parker is who I'd want. If you're asking me who I want to play point guard on my team, of those 3, give me Tony Parker every day of the week.
So you got Tony Parker 1 in this list.
Yes, and then I have Chris Paul, and then I have Russell Westbrook. So you're the opposite list, and I was surprised because you're the number 1 Westbrook hater, and I like Russell Westbrook, but I just like these other 2 guys.
I'm glad you mentioned that here for context.
Yeah. No, I think Chris Paul. And I'm going back to Hornets, Chris Paul, Rookie of the Year, 06, Chris Paul.
I treated this question as an overall.
Yeah, no, I'm saying their careers as a whole. And obviously Westbrook has the MVP, the triple doubles average in a season. There's no
3 seasons.
Yeah.
In a row.
But also, you're the first one to point out that they're a little bit fraudulent and might be detrimental to the team that he is getting these triple doubles. So it's you walk a tightrope saying giving him credit for that, but also being the leader of the take of that. It was actually not good for him to get triple doubles. So it's tough. I don't know. I was surprised that you had Westbrook first. I thought you might go.
I think I'll say this. Here's what I'll say. The way I took the question was not who I'm starting my team with. I didn't look at it that way. If I was starting my team of those 3 players for my locker room and who I like the most there and who I feel like is the personality type that I want in my locker room, we are in agreement. There's no question. I hate Chris Paul. I think it's already been documented as well that I think he's also another loser. He's a 46-minute passing in the last 2 minutes, not trust your player's player, and that's gotten him nowhere in his career.
Got cut in his farewell tour. That's
I also think that he's just a prick, and he's always been a prick, and he's never earned the right to be a prick because he has no playoff success. And then Kobe's a prick because he had rings and he had rings when he was being a prick with Sasha Vujacic in those late years. And if you're going to be a prick in this life, you better have the rings and the cachet to do it. And it just felt like Chris Paul was like a players union prick versus like actually being a winner of a prick. I don't know how to explain that any further than what I just said, but that's kind of my feeling about him. And
Chris Paul is like a Russell Wilson, like annoying.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like he's like
great comp.
You know, like he's like
the guy that makes 10 Pro Bowls. Ooh, yeah.
Oh, guys, we got to pick it up. We got to do
pick it up. Yeah, it's the Jalen Hurts thing. It's just like out of a book. You know, so like these kinds of guys, like,
and don't get me wrong, Tony Parker, like maybe he's not the best teammate. He like fucked Brett Barry's wife. You know what I mean? Like he has his things too, but like on the court, like he's an ultimate teammate. Like in my opinion, like
yeah, I don't think I've ever heard of like Tony Parker. First, actually, what we've heard about Tony Parker, in contrary to what you just said, regardless of the Brent Barry escapade, is that Tony Parker was the hardest working guy and had to get from scratch from a basic nothing player that Popovich had him when he first drafted him to become the player that he became. I think his growth is way higher than Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook, I'll say.
And to be fair, he was like one of the youngest players.
Yeah, he was like 19.
He was like 17, I want to say, when he first started from France. Like when he first won the championship, I'm not sure he was even 20.
He was raw. He was a raw player when he first came in. He was very raw.
Yeah, he was 19. You were right.
I don't even think that's legal what you just said. But anyway,
there's been 17-year-olds before. But
Bynum?
Maybe from high school. Some guy, yeah.
Anyway, Tyson Chandler. But those are the first two names that popped in my head when I thought of like 18-year-old. Yeah, but no, he was raw as fuck. He didn't have a jump shot. He developed the floater. He developed that mid-range jumper, which became lethal. See, my problem with him is a couple things. Number one, I think Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook are much better defenders. That's the first thing I'll say than Tony Parker. Much better, not little better. I think Tony Parker is.
Chris Paul is not much better defender than anyone. I don't, he's
definitely a bull on defense and has some all defensive teams in his book, if I'm not mistaken. I definitely think that he was a better defender. I think Russell Westbrook is clear and cut the best defender of the three. And the other thing I'll say about why I chose Russell Westbrook is because the things that he did in his career, like winning from an individual perspective, Tony Parker didn't even scratch, so that's where I landed with it. Chris Paul, to me, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, Chris Paul, I think was like.
And Tony Parker
he definitely got a lot of steals, so maybe I'm just like slacking on that. But I mean, but Tony Parker was an NBA champion when he was 20.
Yeah, which had a lot to do with playing with the best power forward of all time.
Yeah, great coach and stuff like that. But still,
the best coach, arguably maybe the second best coach of all time.
But he wasn't like getting carried to it. He was fucking making big shots.
No, he was part of it, but he wasn't the one ever on his team. And I think there were times where Russell Westbrook argued to be the one on his team and was the one. I think there were times where Chris Paul would argue to be the one on like the Hornets. And
they both were the number ones at points.
Yeah,
I get that argument, but also at the same time, if either one of them ever played with Tim Duncan, they wouldn't have been the one.
I think it would have been more like a Kobe Shaq 1A, 1B with Chris Paul and Tim Duncan versus like what Tony Parker was clear to be.
But then it gets back to the point of like, would Chris Paul and Tim Duncan even work?
Yeah, and that's a whole other conversation about championships and what fits the puzzle pieces.
Yeah,
Russell Westbrook is not a championship winning basketball player. I've said that at countless times.
I don't think Chris Paul is either.
I don't know. Chris Paul, to me, in terms of rosters, I think Clippers were fugazi. You can't shoot free throws like that or win championships.
Again, I've came close to throwing hands over like Tony Parker versus Russell Westbrook.
I do think Chris Paul would
I'll stand on the Tony Parker being underrated and being.
I do think Parker is criminally underrated. I agree with that premise. I think Chris Paul and Tony Parker are very close. I do think Russell Westbrook just separates himself because he's done things in his career that no one will ever touch. And you could say what it is, what I believe in, as I've documented, as you said, about him equating to winning basketball. And if you want to put that as a statement, like Chris Parker leads to more winning basketball as like a bullet point under him and why you're picking him, you got it. That bullet's yours. But in terms of like overall athletic player, affecting the game, being the one, more responsibility, game in, game out, Like, I don't know. I can't arrive at putting Parker ahead of him. That's kind of where I land.
I mean, it's like I said again, they're all close enough that like there's no wrong answer.
Well, it's a cool conversation because of the way it's framed, because of Parker's winning, his ability to win so many clutch games in the playoffs, be a clutch player, but overall statistics, winning an MVP, all this other shit.
You could say he's never been the one, but he's a Finals MVP. Like he was the one for a final. For a championship, which
is crazy because teams can key in on you. There's adjustments that are made. The series probably went 6 or 7 games, if I'm guessing. So, him winning Finals MVP is not that's not.
I'll tell you what says a lot. Technically, he's not a one jersey guy. I think he went to Charlotte for the last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Who's this?
Tony Parker. But basically, he was a Spur his whole career. Russell Westbrook and Chris Paul have been all over the fucking league. You know what I mean? Like, I think that speaks volumes too. Like, where it's like, as good as they are, teams want to get rid of them. Like,
Fair. I think that's a good point too. Yeah.
All right, we'll keep it moving. When was the last time you cried watching a film? Interstellar. I feel like we talked about your affiliation with Interstellar a bunch on the podcast.
Oppenheimer I thought was another one that I maybe teared up when they were dropping the last bomb on Nagasaki. Really? Yeah, and they showed that a little bit. Maybe that was not fun to watch.
I need if I'm gonna cry, I need like
a full blown crying, really getting me.
Even tear up. Like I need an emotional connection to a character. Like I'm not gonna cry for the people of Japan.
I get emotionally connected to the most random shit. I was watching the new Wicked, and I was getting emotionally connected to Elphaba a couple times. But that's a
character. Like I said, I'm not gonna cry for the people of Japan in the 1940s who aren't even featured.
Yeah, but I don't know why. I'm like a recollector the way I am. And
I'm not saying you're wrong or right. I'm just saying I'm different. Like I need to have a connection to a character in the film if I'm going to tear up. I'm not going to be like, oh, that's really sad for none of these people were ever on camera the whole movie, Yeah. But yeah, for me, it was The Long Walk. I'm dying for that movie to come out on streaming because I want to memorize the monologue by the guy.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, it was the one that came out in the theaters. It'll probably get nominated. It won't win, but The Long Walk.
Maybe Netflix nominates it since Netflix owns all of Hollywood now, apparently.
But it was a Stephen King novel. I actually read the book after watching the movie.
What's it called again?
It's called The Long Walk. It's very, very good. I couldn't recommend it more. But the kid
comes out on streaming platforms. Throw me a bone, and I'll check it out.
Definitely watch it. It's the kid David Johnson. I think will win Best Supporting Actor though. If they won't win Best Picture, but he was spectacular, and he has a monologue in it where he's like, "You've been walking for 4 days, Ray. I've been walking all my life." Like that's how it starts, and I want to memorize the whole monologue. It was that good, and he's like
Mark Hamill. Okay.
Yeah, Mark Hamill's kind of the bad guy, if you will, and then Philip Seymour Hoffman's son is the lead, Cooper Hoffman.
Charlie Plummer. Is his father John Christian? Oh,
no,
wow.
Philip Seymour Hoffman's son is the lead character, though.
I see Cooper Hoffman, but there's also a couple. I'm not looking at the other actors in it, the side actors.
Yeah, Charlie Plummer was good in it, but the kid David Johnson is spectacular. If he doesn't win Best Supporting Actor, it's a crime. He was amazing, and I looked because obviously afterwards, when I really like a movie, I go Wikipedia, look at the actors. The fact he was from London and he has
he is from London. That's crazy.
And he has a southern drawl in it, and with a cut on all across his face, 50 Cent almost with a bullet. He's going with fucking sick. Just and like I said, not just the draw, but also just the acting, and delivery, so fucking good, spectacular.
Check it out.
Yeah, no, the monologue. I literally my girlfriend gets mad at me because I'll be it'll be something oh man, we've been doing this for so long, and I'll be you've been doing this for 4 days. I've been doing this all my life. You
just keep quoting it. She's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I'm I can't wait for it to come out on streaming because I'm going to memorize the entire monologue.
That's funny.
All right, and then we get to power rank these NFL Hall of very good running backs. We had the same order here. It was the list was Deuce McAllister, work done, Sean Alexander, and it went the exact opposite. Alexander was an MVP. Had some ridiculously monster seasons.
Rushing title. He's a beast.
Warwick Dunn was a dual threat, undersized guy.
And I also thought about him because he had two teams that he played very well on.
The Bucks and the Falcons.
Right.
And Deuce McAllister was a beast for the Saints for a long time. Had some 1,500-yard seasons, but just talent-wise, didn't seem to be quite as talented as those other guys. So we're in agreement there. Favorite J. Cole song? I like Lights Please. Lights Please is a great shout. And it speaks to what I'm speaking to, where it's like his older shit was so good before he really blew up.
He has some, what's it called? Vilmatic, I think it's called, or what is it called? Oh, it's
first it was like the warm up, and then it was like
Well, I mean, like there's a song that he like a Lucy that he released. I think it was called Vilmatic, and that was sick if I remember right. In the morning break.
Mine is "Show Me Something." I don't know if you ever heard that.
Show Me Something, yeah, of course.
That's a fucking banger.
I like January 28th off of Forest Hills Drive. That's a fucking classic.
He's like, I see my brother get in trouble in the law, and that shit cut me like I was in a barber's chair. I'm talking about the revolution. I am Paul Revere. He's like,
the come up, his flow on the come up is pinnacle.
Yeah, the come up, the warm up, that was all his best stuff for me.
Come up, the warm up.
When I was in college at St. John's, and he went to St. John's, it was like it was a time, it was a moment. But Show Me Something, I literally put it on in the gym today, and I was like, God, that's a good fucking song.
Yeah, Bill Maddox was good. Yeah, he had so many good ones.
Your favorite college player right now is just like the only one you know, which is like a kicker from Stanford.
I could have said a quarterback, like one of the quintessential quarterbacks, like Arch Manning or whatever, but or like the receiver on Smith on fucking Ohio State or whatever. Fuck. I don't know. I don't really follow college close enough. I like the Indiana quarterback from some couple of the games that I've seen. He looks like a good player. His name slipped my mind. So.
Fernando Mendoza.
Yeah, Mendoza. I like him. He seems like a good player.
I got
Drew Aller. I've seen a little bit.
Drew Aller's been hurt for half the season, and he stinks, and he's terrible.
You don't like him?
Drew Aller is your favorite college player.
He's not my favorite. I'm just talking about players that I even know.
These are players you can name. There's
players I can name. I don't really follow college football, so I'd rather just go with the hometown kid.
I love Sawyer Robertson from Baylor, quarterback. Jeremiah Love, running back from Notre Dame.
Jeremiah Love, I've seen him run. He's good.
Caleb Downs, the safety for Ohio State, and Arvell Reese, the linebacker from Ohio State.
That guy Schweitziger, by the way, is going to win Defensive Rookie of the Year for Cleveland. That's our guy.
Yeah, he's a beast. The most impactful coach or teacher from your youth, you said Mrs. Klein. So why? What does she do?
I just always remember I enjoyed going to her class when I was a kid, and she kind of got me into English and caring about books a little bit and reading. So she was the first person to make English cool.
Learning fun.
Yeah, and I hated math. I was in a private school, half Hebrew school, half English school during the day, which sucked. So her class was the only escape I had all day long of feeling like I was in classes that I fucking hated my life in, basically.
That's
besides
solid.
gym.
That's solid. Yeah, no, I wrote down I went from
Mr. Giordano too in Festa, by the way, computer class. That's another one. Sorry.
The old ass Mr. Giordano.
Yeah. An A-wing.
Yeah, he was my lacrosse coach. He didn't know anything about.
And remember those wings, bro, with the little the forest in the middle of it.
And my basketball coach, he didn't know anything about either sport. He might have been the lead.
That's what I remember. I remember your guys' team was just so damn good; it did not matter. But he was not anything. Yeah,
he didn't know anything about sports. It was crazy. But I had two teachers in high school that I had to go when I was a freshman. I literally would get in fights, cut class all the time. They put me in the alternate education, and they explained basically it was set up so where you took fucking field trips once a month. You fucking got to chill on couches in class, but if you didn't do your homework or you didn't go to class, you got kicked back to fucking Gen Pop, we called it,
Damn.
And that's where I learned how, I was oh, I got to do my work or else I got to go to the shitty fucking desk shit that I hate, that this isn't the structure that worked for me at the time. And they were hard on me though. It wasn't easier. I remember our English class, which was Miss Guzmano, had the highest English regents of any English class in the whole school, even though it was all the bad kids, because we had to learn it. And I remember she taught the Latin bases of words, So, like malcontent, like mal means bad. Like, so any
Yeah,
word
yeah,
that's
yeah.
mal.
Breaking down like the prefix and the suffix of the word itself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So like the Latin bases versus like just like basically if you know mal is bad, you can figure out what any like
Mal in Spanish is bad too.
Yeah, because Latin all derives from Latin.
Right.
Right. So it's like we learn like every day we learn a different Latin base, and like we had to write, and she was a harsh grader with the writing. Like she was very stickler about, and particularly with me because she's like, you're a talented writer. Like I'm gonna be harder on you because you have talent, but also like if I was like fucking off or whatever, like she'd call me out, but she'd also be like, hey, like you need one more day, like you have one more day, but I'm gonna grade it harsher, because you have the extra day. Like I feel that. Like, and then after like my grades got way better, but also like my test scores were super duper good, like SATs, Regents, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like
because my SATs were okay. I did like 1,100 out of 1,600.
Yeah, I was like in the high 12s, like 1290 or something like that. Yeah, I did really, really good. I did like excellent on the writing, and then the math, I just did like pretty good. And then whatever the reading, I like don't count. I never counted it out of 2,400. I never cared.
Yeah, I only did 1,600 too. I think we were one of the final years that had both. Like you could count for both. But like ACT, I get like a 28.
That's really good. I didn't do the ACT because I got a really good SAT score. So
I didn't get into. My grades were bad though. I think I had a 2.8, 2.9 GPA coming out of high school. Mine
was worse than that because my freshman year was like abysmal. Like I didn't like I literally like was like failing and getting D. Like that
was my freshman year too. Like I did not. I don't think. Yeah.
I didn't go to class. I didn't do homework. I didn't care. Like I was like. I was going to be
doing something similar
in the army and like go be a firefighter or like and like my teachers, to their credit, were like, look, like you're not stupid. Like you're
I used to get this conversation too. I feel like we've had these linear conversations in our lives and individually. Like same thing. Like Zach, you're not stupid. You're just being a little shit, and you're not studying.
You're one of the smartest kids in the class easily. Like but you just don't try. And I was like, well, what's my incentive to try? I don't care about school. I don't want to be good at school, whatever. Like I have no. And then like they were like, well, let's just see you try this program out. Like if you like it, like great. If not, like my teachers were. Besides one of my teachers, my math teacher was like, why are you doing this? You don't need to do this. Like you're like again one of the smartest kids. But the rest of my teachers were like, well, you're not listening to me. Let's try something else. But Miss Guzmano and, to be fair, Miss Sullivan, who was the math teacher, but she was just like the sweetest woman ever. Like that was a different. Like she was just like kind and like built me up. Gus actually pushed me and like called me on my shit. Like I also got away with so much because like I was very like emotionally mature at like a young age in high school. Where, like I was like charming, even like in school suspension. I would like charm them into letting me go for like 10 minutes to like go like, and like fuck off, like I remember
I had the charm probably, but my face just said fuck you. Like my goofy ass face always like I didn't have the look yet where I like really understood how to use maybe my quick quirk and my a gift of gab in a sense. So like it came off probably most times the wrong way, the way I was. Yeah.
So I had my assistant, my mom always tells a story, my assistant principal, who was supposed to be like the disciplinary and this, and she's like, I want to get him in more trouble, but he's just so charming. And my mom was like, it's your job. Like, you can't like my mom always tells that story because I'll go to and I'll, like fucking flirt. You know what I mean? Like I fit like.
You do what you got to do.
Especially with female teachers. Like, like I always like knew.
Bro, I can't name names. I can't say the name out loud. I'll text you the name after we're done here. But a certain someone in college that you both of us know, who was a groomsman at my wedding, and he went to South. There's your hint right there. And he in college, like basically was like not doing well in a class and ended up flirting with the TA so much to try to help him, and they ended up fucking basically, and to the point where it got like awkward almost.
Yeah, like I was saying, I'm talking about high school. Like it was,
I know. There are stories of that in high school too, for the record.
No, I wasn't doing any of that. I wasn't hooking up, but it was just like I said, a charm thing. Like I remember being in ISS, and like I was talking to like this woman came in and she's like, I'm probably the nicest one, and like in ISS. So you got like talk a little bit, but don't go too crazy. Like, I'm probably the nicest one. And like, literally snap response was like, not to mention the prettiest, you know? And then like, you know, like, and we start talking like, and she's like, and I'm like, yeah, I just want to go to the military and like be a firefighter. And she's like, that would be such a waste. Like, you know, like you would like, that would be a waste for you. You know, again, this is like 9th or 10th grade.
ISS lady fucking coming in hot.
Yeah. And that was also like,
I used to live in ISS.
The fact that I remember that, like, well, I would just get detention and I wouldn't go until they gave me ISS. I was like, I'd rather go to in-school suspension than go to after-school detention. Fucking, that's my time.
Detention is worse.
School's time. Yeah, I don't care. I'll sit in school's study hall all day as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. That's called beating the system, by the way.
Yeah. All right, we'll get to the trivia. So I got a pretty standard one. Current NBA head coaches. We'll start in the Atlantic Division. We'll give you the easiest division first, I would say. The Knicks.
Mike Brown.
The Celtics.
What's his name? Fucking, oh my God, Raccoon Eyes. I was just looking at him the other day. Oh my God. Oh my God. Give me a second.
If you don't got this one, you're in trouble.
No, I know it. Just let me go back to it. Keep going with other teams.
Okay, fine. I'll come back to it. Pass for now. Nets.
Missoula. Joe Missoula.
Joe Missoula is the Celtics head coach. Good job. All right, the Nets.
Oh, man. I know it's a Spanish guy. I just can't put him in.
That's a good.
Yeah.
That's good. That's impressive, even.
Yeah. I've seen his face because I watched the highlights of the Knicks.
He was on the good Spanish teams that played the U.S. tough. And like
yeah. Oh man. Fuentes. Fernandez.
Yes.
I don't know his first name though. I don't know his first name.
Fair enough, but yeah. So half a point.
Jordy. Okay.
That
and
was
he spells weird too. I've seen this name. Jordi.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Sixers.
Nick Nurse.
Yes, good job. Raptors.
Man, that's tough. It's some overseas guy, like some guy from Europe. I don't know who it is. Another guy. I've seen his name and his face. They've been playing well too. Like watch the T podcast. I'll pass on that one. Yeah.
Pass or punt?
I'm gonna pass. I'll sit on that one.
We'll come back to it. All right. Bulls.
That's
Central Division now. Yes, Billy Donovan. Cavs.
Oh, it's what's his name? Who was the Nets coach? Kenny Atkinson.
Nice. Pistons.
JB Bickerstaff.
Nice. Pacers.
Rick Carlisle.
Yep.
And
Bucks.
then Doc. Yeah.
Southeast. Hawks.
Oh, man, it's somebody like known, like around the league. He's coached another team before. Oh man, white guy. Pass.
Okay.
The other coach for I don't know the Toronto coach, but it's something like Vujicic or something Chich. I don't know his name though.
Okay, I'm gonna say I'm not gonna give you that one.
That's fine.
Darko Rajakovic. Close.
Rajakovic. It's a bitch. Okay.
Not an itch, but a itch, not a sitch, but close
enough.
Not
a sitch, yeah, itch. Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Atlanta's coach. Pass on that. I'm gonna sit on that for a second.
Okay. Hornets.
No idea. That's a punt.
Charles Lee. Heat.
Spoelstra.
Yep. The Magic.
It's Mosley.
Nice. Good pull. Jamal is his first
name. Mosley. Yeah, I knew it.
Okay. Wizards.
Punt.
Brian Keefe.
I don't know who that is. The coach of the Atlanta Hawks is the same coach as from Utah.
Correct.
His Quinn Snyder. There you go.
Correct. There you go. Good. Well done.
I had to get through that.
Nuggets.
Adelman.
Nice. Good pull.
Like the Sun.
Wolves. Yeah, his first name. Do you have his first name?
David.
Yeah. Nice pull.
Yeah.
The Wolves.
Chris Finch.
Yes. The Thunder.
Mark Dagnall. Yeah.
Yep. The Blazers.
It was Chauncey. That's all I got.
He's technically on leave, so I guess I give you half credit for that because he's not officially fired.
Is the other guy known?
Yeah, he's a league guy. He's known. He's. Do you want a hint or you want to?
Sure, I'll take a hint here.
He's Brazilian and he played in the league.
Varejao?
No, good guess. Another Brazilian big man played for the Spurs. You've said his name,
Mistarovich,
like quoting Stephen A. Smith.
Interesting. Spurs big man from Brazil.
And you said his name quoting Stephen A. Smith.
I got nothing.
Thiago Splitter.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
All right. He's the interim though. Chauncey Billups. I'll give you half credit because technically Chauncey Billups is on leave. He's not officially fired, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Jazz.
Punt.
Will Hardy.
I don't know who that is.
Warriors.
Steve Kerr.
Clippers.
Ty Lue.
Lakers.
JJ.
Redick. Suns.
Punt.
Jordan Ott. That one I was like,
I don't know what that is.
You could have let me guess a million times.
Sounds like the equipment guy. I don't know who that is.
I don't know. Yeah, I like I said, you could have had me guess it. That was the one I was most like, okay, yeah, I would never have gotten that.
If I told you that name, I'm cheating.
Yeah, pretty much. Or if I would have been like, that's impressive. The Kings.
Former player. Doug Christie.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah, good player.
Mad.
Another former player, Jason Kidd.
Yep. Rockets.
Another former player, Ime Udoka.
I don't remember another player, to be fair. Grizzlies.
Punt.
Thomas Isola. I thought you might know because it was like a big thing when they got rid of their coach last year, and he was like a big deal overseas coach, but still hard. Definitely hard. Spurs.
That's Mitchell Johnson.
Nice. Good pull. Because I thought maybe because Pop was there so long, like he.
Yeah, I remember who took over for him. Yeah.
Pelicans.
Punt.
Yeah, that one's hard. Willie Green just got fired, and it's James.
That's what I was about to say. I knew it was Willie Green, but it's not anymore, so it's a punt.
Yeah. James Borrego. That was good. Yeah, that was good. Jordan, Thomas Isola, James Borrego, Will Hardy.
I think I got the ones I was supposed to get wrong.
Yeah, Thiago, and honestly, some of them are good pulls. Like Jamal Mosley was a good pull. I think Jamal Mosley was the one that I didn't have that you got, and I knew Darko something for the Raptors, but I didn't have his last name in my bag either.
Yeah.
But other than that, like we were basically.
I'd say Doug Christie also. Knowing Doug Christie, that's not a tough one in a sense because he played for the Kings, but you got to know that though.
No, I think we were basically like I knew Thomas Isola and I didn't know Mitchell Johnson.
Mitchell Johnson.
We were basically like even, like all the other ones I didn't know either.
Salo, I kind of know him. I know his first name.
I just remember he was like a big overseas name that they were like happy even though they fired their coach when they were in the hunt. Like I just remember that story, But other than that, like I said, you did good. That was good. I would say very good, especially on the spot. Like when I'm just making the list and I'm just writing all the teams and then I write the names in and then
I watch a lot of ball. Like I'd say basketball and football I know the most about for sure.
I don't watch and I knew I was actually pretty happy with myself.
Because you're not really a ball watcher like that, like I am.
Well, I watch a lot of NBA, but I don't until college football ends. I don't watch.
You're not in the weeds like you are with football. It feels like
I watch more college football than probably our whole group chat combined. Like I watch college football.
But I'll put myself up in that group chat for starting fives in the NBA right now against anyone in that chat.
Yeah, I was.
Maybe Eddie Lozada is the guy that would probably.
Yeah, he knows NBA well.
He knows NBA.
was locked in on like Tulane, North Texas. Like watched the whole game last.
Yeah, that's crazy. There's no way. I don't know.
And I've watched multiple North Texas and multiple Tulane games before.
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. Yeah, but you would catch me on a random day watching the highlights between the Suns and the Grizzlies. No question.
I know who like is going to be like transfer portal guys on like group of 5 teams. Like I love college football. So I don't really watch, I'll be honest, because I also have like balance. Like I watch a lot of shows. Like I'm not going to just watch sports. Like I'm not going to be like, oh, let me switch from fucking college football.
I watch highlights. I watch a ton of highlights. I don't watch full games of the NBA anymore. I watch the Knicks. But all the games, though, every night, basically, while I'm sitting here just chilling at my desk, like if I'm playing like Madden or if I'm just hanging out, whatever, and just chilling, I watch a 9-minute recap of every NBA game, basically every night.
Yeah, and I watch a lot of college football games, like for most of the game, the whole game, whatever. And I do also watch a lot of like the 15-minute
clips,
whole game.
15-minute clips. YouTube is a weapon of sorts.
UVA versus NC State, like like the highlights. I'll throw that on just as like comfort food,
For sure. Hell yeah.
That was a good episode. I had fun.
Yeah, Week 26. Good luck with your bets this weekend. Good luck with your fantasy football final regular season matchups.
Yeah, I'm gonna be praying tomorrow, man.
We'll see if I'm hoping I make the playoffs.
Marion Hampton is gonna fucking drive me crazy this week.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm starting him in my family league, just closing my eyes. I have Devin Neal, Manangai on that team as well. I'm going with Manangai and Omari and Hampton. I'm sitting Devin Neal against at Tampa Bay. I feel like that's the right move. Tampa Bay's front is a little scarier to me, but if you watch Neal go for 2 touchdowns, it'll be awesome. But, other than that, I'm starting Chris Godwin in my Dynasty League. Should be able to get a dub there. Had a nice performance from Dak, which was nice. He got 21 points. I started him over Goff. I had the choice between him, Goff, and Burrow. I started Dak and Burrow. That worked out so far. As long as Burrow can clear 17 points, and then we're good to go.
It's just so tough with Monday Night Football. I just wish.
Monday Night Football is tough, but I think the extra day of rest actually bodes well for Omarion, and I think that they wouldn't play him as a rookie in terms of the situation that they're in unless he was actually really cleared to play, which gives me good faith that he's going to come out and be able to tote the rock a little bit. But I do think that could be a little bit of
they kind of need to win, too. Like
they need to win. Their division's close. Their wild card is so close. Every game is a playoff game here on out, and they know that. And I think the main thing is that with Herbert's hand, I think you're going to get a heavy dosage of the run game, both Omarion and Vidal.
Yeah, no. And also, like you said, Jalen Carter out, too.
Jalen Carter's out too. I mean, I do think that sometimes that helps the Philadelphia defensive line because it's more rotational versus just having one guy in there who could be tired towards the end of the game. And I don't know, but Jalen Carter's a guy that can wreck the game too and hurt Herbert. So,
he's the best player on their defense.
Yeah. So we'll see what Jordan Davis has got for them, but I'm not as scared of like Phillips and Nolan Smith in the run game as much. Zach Bond's a beast, but I think they could get off. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, brother. Peace.
All right, man. Talk to you soon. Be good. Hotz, Heads, Dreamers, Sixers. We'll be back next week.
Hey, peace.